you into a world champion. I can count each and every time making Doritos. If you want to ruin your body, well, damn well, that's up to you. But the fact remains, when you don't need Cactus Jack and you were able to get a ride on your own, those Doritos stayed there and they haunted me and they called me until I couldn't resist anymore. For God's sakes, man, don't you realize I've got an eating disorder? Doritos? Eating disorder?
This is Doc Gallows and the Machine Gun Carl Anderson, and you're listening to Turnbuckle Throwbacks with Phil, Jay, and that pain-in-the-ass Choppy, and that's just
too sweet ski.
What this network needs, this network gets. I promise you that.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
Broadcasting live from Shaolin, Staten Island, New York City.
Freak Show Central.
Where's that?
New York City.
It's the Turnbuckle Throwbacks Wrestling Podcast with Phil, Jay, and that pain in the ass, Choppy. On Rant EM Radio, proud member of the Shining Wizards Network and Dark Satellite Media.
Yo, yo, yo. What's up, everybody?
What is going on?
We're live. Hello, everybody. We're live on the Rant EM Radio. Listen to the Turnbuckle Throwbacks. We're part of Dark Satellite Media. We're part of Shining Wizards Network. And people are asking me for shit. Hold on a second. Everybody's like, where do I watch this? My sister wants to watch. So I'm sending her a link. So
we're on the YouTubes. We're on the Facebook.
we're on everywhere, man. We're
everywhere.
We're live on the Rant EM Radio, Rant Entertainment Media, part of the Shining Wizards Network, part of Dark Satellite Media, like I said. And this is episode 379.
Do you ever think you get this far?
No. No. I'm Phil.
I'm Jay.
And Jay. Jay gets music. Jay gets music every episode now.
I got it all. Come on, this is good. I'm telling you,
It doesn't get old.
I'm bunkering down on this one. Come on. I golfed today.
I know.
Oh. A lot of that sound, but a lot of lost balls.
Hello to everybody listening live on YouTube, like Jay said. And who else? Where else? We're on the Facebook. We're on rantemradio.com. We're on the chat room there. That's pretty much it. And Jay and I were just talking pre-production. Jay went golfing today.
Yeah. Trying to get it in, trying to get a few rounds in before the end of the season.
I mean, it's like Indian summer, dude. I did the whole thing with the gimmick, with the whole, because my stepfather's like, you might want to wrap up your air conditioner. I have a 12,000 BTU air conditioner because I only have 2 windows in my apartment.
Yeah.
So, this thing cools off the entire apartment.
I was going to say, that could cool off the whole first floor, 12,000
Right,
BTUs.
yeah. So, I'm in the basement. I'm in the basement level. I'm next to the backyard. There's a fucking breeze coming through. So now I do the whole gimmick. I get the wrap for the back of it, for the front of it. You know what I'm saying? And I wrap it all up. And it's fucking 75 degrees the last 2 days. I was like, you kidding me right now? And like humidity was like 90% today.
I'm about to say you'd have it on today if it was up
Of
to you.
course,
Yeah.
I would at least run it and
cool it off,
and then shut it off. I unplugged it because it's on a Wi-Fi, and all of a sudden, like, it's fucking summer again. I'm like, this is retarded. And then it's humid. I'm like, this is disgusting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's supposed to go down like the 40s tonight and tomorrow. I think.
I think tomorrow night's supposed to be really cold.
It's supposed to break, but come on, man, this is terrible. And then, like, what are you gonna do? Like,
yeah,
and
because there's nothing worse than trying to sleep and it's hot out.
Yeah, and I got the window open right now. I got the
Yeah.
window, and Augie loves the window. My cat didn't have windows at the last apartment. He didn't
Yeah.
have a window at all.
Mhm.
He would jump up in the bathroom, try to go out, look out that one, So he's got the front window. He's got the second window in my bedroom. Then he's got the fucking sliding door window that he sleeps in front of now. He gets the sun. He gets the rays.
Yeah.
So when I open the window in the bedroom, he's like, "Oh, this is great." He jumps on the windowsill. He lays there. He goes after birds. He's like,
just take it in the rays, huh?
He's taking a raise. He's yelling at the animals outside. He's yelling at me because he's yelling at the animals. I'm like, what want me to tell you? There are animals outside. He saw a blue jay like a week ago, and he darted for it. I was like, dude, if you break that screen, I'll kill you. He looked at me like, I'm gonna do nothing like that.
Poor guy doesn't even know. He's just trying to hang out.
Yeah, conspicuous by his absence.
Yeah.
Our resident pain in the ass, Mr. Margassa, is absent today.
Choppy's a pain in the ass.
Choppy got called into work tonight, tomorrow, Sunday. So he's
here, there, everywhere.
He's here, there, and everywhere. But we're gonna have a good show tonight. We have a really good throwback for you. This is Jay's pick because Jay's birthday is on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And obviously, who's gonna celebrate Jay's birthday on a Tuesday? My birthday was on Tuesday this year too.
Yeah.
So
it's funny because I remember we were saying earlier this year, and like we talk about birthdays, and it's just like a friend of mine too. His birthday was Thursday, and it was like he's like, I don't know, man. This year it's just like it's taken to like wish you could just have one back. I wish you would just be able to like get one back, and because this year it kind of took the piss out of everything, So
we tried to. I mean, we had a nice birthday for me.
Yeah,
but like it was still like there was still people there. It was like it didn't feel right,
Yeah,
it was great having you guys there. It was great that Fallon and her family threw me that party. It was amazing.
Yeah.
But it's like nothing felt right this year. You know what I'm saying? But I'm excited for your birthday because not only is it your birthday, but it's a year you've been with us.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
which is funny because in the grand scheme of things, it really to say that a year, because it was funny, the Facebook memories or whatever, like it came up, and I remember like when one of the first shows that came up, I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Like I actually get to see it, blah blah blah, and then all of a sudden you blink your eyes and you're like, holy fuck. Been a year already.
I blinked and it was 8 years.
Yeah.
I blinked and it was 5. I think 5 years with Choppy already. 4 years, whatever.
Yeah, like that's kind of cool. It's really kind of cool, like and I can't say enough thanks to you and Choppy and literally everybody that listens and everybody from the Facebook group to the whole network, Shauna Wizards Network. Everybody just. Just it's humbling in a sense, you realize like, well, you just, you're measly on wrong. My friend said it to me today. Like I made the joke, how I'm a Renaissance man and all that. But like my buddy's like, he goes, seriously, like, is there nothing that you don't, cause I'm whacking golf balls, like, scratch golfer at best. He's like, I was like, dude, I do it all. Like I and I was like kidding around.
That's right.
I was like kidding around about it. But then like, you think about it, you're just like, life's about living, man, and literally just taking advantage of every minute on this fucking earth.
I can't see the chat room for some reason. So
I got it.
So who's in the chat room saying hello?
I got Squires is in. Jamie, Fallon says hello. What's up, Fallon? Happy birthday. She says thank you very much. Shaylin, of course. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Shaylin, so much. Elaine, I see.
All right.
Well. So. Few heads
Hula's in there. All right. Hula.
So bad.
No, it's not.
That's so bad.
Listen. First of all, I can call
so accurate.
anybody else calls Aline now. We're gonna punch them in their face.
Oh, without a doubt.
We're allowed to do it. That's it. That's the bottom line. But yeah, my sentiments exactly. I can't really. I had a vision for the show, and even if we didn't bring you on, we thought about bringing a third person. We just didn't have anybody. Either local or just didn't have the vibe. When you vibe with us, it was like, all right. And even Choppy was like, yeah, it worked out well because,
It's kind of, a few weeks ago with that whole, the motorcycle thing, as, not that it was a life-changing thing, but it really makes you introspective in a sense where you can just sit there and just go, things are supposed to happen as it is. And I'm very, like, in tune with that. And I attribute, that to this as well. It's the same kind of vibe. It's the same aspect. Like it's supposed to happen like this because it's like you said, you blink, and it's a fucking year.
Dude, I'm blinking. My godson Marcus is gonna be 11 years old tomorrow.
Yeah,
11, dude. I remember going to the hospital at night. I was in Long Island, and I made my friend take me. I was like, I gotta go see my godson, my new godson. But it was like I blinked, and this kid's 11 years old already.
Yeah,
like it goes so fast. And I was having this conversation at work last week with somebody. I'm like, listen, I work with kids who were conceived when I graduated high school. I'm not even exaggerating.
Yeah.
There's 2 girls, and they're beautiful girls. And I'm like, yo, listen, I said, take it all in now. Okay, you don't have kids yet. You're not fucking married. Enjoy your life. I'm not saying don't get married, don't have kids. I'm saying just once in a while, step back and breathe.
Yeah.
Because once you hit 30, everything goes, man. And I'm telling you, like my nieces and nephews, every time they have a birthday, I'm like, where does it go? And I put it on Facebook. I'm like, where does it go? When Will's kids, my sister's kids, my one niece is in her fucking almost mid-20s already.
Wow.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
She just turned 22, I think, at the beginning of the month.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is insane.
It is something. It's funny because like my friend's younger sister, who we used to give swirlies to when we were in
my
high
sister
school.
Nat is watching. Hey Nat. Speaking of my sister.
And we used to give swirlies to. We threw her in the dryer one time. Like it was like it's funny. It's small. My friend, my friend's sister Katie, and I'm just as close with the family. And she was supposed to get married in June and COVID, and was supposed to get married in November and COVID.
Yeah.
So she ended up just doing something really small, and it came. I wasn't able to attend, but I came to the after party, and it's funny. Like I wrote it in the card, like wow, like where, and it's the truth. Like where does it go? Like it's out of nowhere. Like you and that's what I mean. Like where like things are supposed to happen, like as it happens. Like just take advantage. I think if everybody just, like you said, you take a step back. I think I'm a little guilty of too many times taking a step back, and
I thought I was too. And then like things happen, like these last 10 years, everything ended almost for me. Like almost like 2 years ago, and I had to recharge the battery. But like you step back, and I'm looking at my son. My son's 13 years old.
Yeah,
I've been in his life since he's 2.5. So it's like you blink, and now Time Hop is coming up with all the fucking pictures and whatnot. So it's like, okay, this is cool. But you need to step back. You truly like, and you like I was telling my mom this a couple weeks ago. My mom just turned 65, right? And I'm like, you think that your parents are invincible.
Yeah.
They're never going to age, they're never going to die, like because they're always there. But then like when you hit a certain age yourself, you start questioning your mortality. You start questioning like every single aspect of your life. And I'm like, holy shit, man, my mom's pushing 70.
Yeah.
Like my dad would have been pushing 70. My dad's dead 19 years on Wednesday. My dad would have been pushing 70. He was only a year behind my mom. I was like, I just couldn't fucking believe. My sister's dad is 65. Like it's just like you and I have like aunts, uncles in their 50s. All my aunts and uncles are like 10 years and 15 years older than me. So it's like, but you just start like fucking questioning everything,
You don't there's no manual.
No. But you do need to smell once in a while those flowers, because you know what? It and it doesn't matter where you are in your life. If you're married, you're not married, your kids, girlfriend, whatever the case may be, you just have to it's appreciate another day above ground. Put it that way.
That's exactly it. And I was like, I say that at work. That's always my famous line. Like, oh, I'm 6 feet this way today. Like, and it's
another day.
It's kind of like a deprecating way of saying it, but it's in the other sense, it's actually kind of enlightening, because hey, listen, I'm here. Let's to realize how fickle life is. And I'm doing another trip around the fucking sun, this coming Tuesday. It's funny, like people are so iffy about birthdays. Like, you're 10 years older than me. So like, you hear me going 30, you're 35. Like, you're so lucky. And I just go, I feel lucky. Obviously I feel lucky, but in the same sense, like I'm not like that upset about birthdays. Like I don't know what it is.
No, I like celebrating other people's birthdays.
It's
like I'm sad that my godson tomorrow that I can't be at his party, but like I'm but I love celebrating parties. You know.
Wait, I gotta chime in because Halen just wrote Choppy got replaced by a birthday bag, and then like I've been staring at this birthday bag, and then I'm just like, oh, that has to fucking do with me.
That has to do with you, buddy. You can move those fucking nuggets. Jay's got 4 pounds of fucking nuggets from Wendy's. That was a pretty funny story, actually.
Oh, whoever had to go to fucking Wendy's 3 times today. All right, I got a big birthday bag.
You got a birthday bag.
I got a card.
Open the card first.
Open the card first. All right, hold on.
Yeah, don't be a fucking douche about it. I hate.
I don't know.
What are you 8?
Wow.
Open the card first.
Well, if it's got something sentimental in it, if I got
no, I'm not sentimental, bro. Are you kidding me?
Can still blow out all my candles
See?
in one breath.
Look at that. You got a coupon to
I
blow
can
out
still do that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
there
awesome.
There you go.
Oh, it's removable. Oh, that's so
Yeah,
cool. Oh, that's a
yeah.
great card. See, that would be a card I would get somebody.
Right, exactly. I figured that.
We put the mic down.
Yeah, put the mic down. You got some presents in there.
It's so funny because like I'm so bad at birthdays. Like I'm really bad on it.
Nah, man, you and Tabor got me a fucking tablet this year with that gift card. So we made a design for you, and my sister Natalie put it to
No shit.
Yeah, man. Yep.
Oh, that's so
Yep.
cool.
If you turn it to the front, it says it's Cop Club
Oh, that is so
Takeover Club
cool.
Special. And I think the Japanese lettering Rob did that for us. Rob, it says Golf Tour on it. And if you look at the sleeves, there's stuff on there too, I believe.
Holy shit.
Yep.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yep. So you got yourself a personalized
hell
shirt.
yeah.
They're probably going to submit the design, but I want my sister to make more shirts because she did such a great job. And we got you a T-shirt too.
To match it. Fuck yeah.
So I have one. Choppy has one. So thank you to my sister Nat.
Oh, dude, that is fucking
Happy
sweet.
birthday, brother.
That is so cool.
Yeah. So my sister made those. They're fucking amazing. My
Yeah.
sister's like Captain Crafty now. She's making all the gimmicks, you know. But yeah, man.
That is so, dude. That's amazing.
Yeah,
See, and it's things like that where, and I'm so bad at this stuff. Like
said
where
you're welcome.
I look at that. Yeah, thank you so much, man. That really is amazing. And like because I just go, that's so much better than any gift. You know what I mean? Like I sometimes it's these like the little things that I mean, like, you know, like you know, like now I'll take back, and I know I'll show Taba, and like she'll be fucking amazed at this, like because it's, you know, yeah, I guess like sometimes you don't realize it was like the same thing. I think I said it on the show before, like, you know, like I'm just a guy. I'm a regular dude. That's how I picture myself.
Yeah, but you're our dude.
Yeah,
you know
and
what
it's
I'm saying?
funny, like you know, and like you see all this stuff, and you just go, man, like, am I really like it's just like a dent? I'm not even like, you know, you want to make a ripple in people's lives, but like, man, like a fucking dent, you know, dude, that's fucking. I'm speechless. That's
So thank you
fucking
to
amazing,
Rob.
man.
Thank you to Rob for helping us design that.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you guys.
to my sister
Chops,
Natalie.
Chops, I love you. Phil, I love you.
You're welcome, man. Enjoy that.
That's amazing. That's
I told my sister because my sister was 70 miles away. I'm like, I'm gonna send you the shit, and you gotta like 2-day it to me. I think I paid almost as much as in fucking in shipping than I did for the actual shirts.
Oh, that's
But because I wanted you to have it, you know what I'm saying?
that is so fucking cool.
I gotta get like I was telling my friend this. I have to get with this whole Photoshop shit because I have so many ideas in my head for like stuff I want to do for the show, like, you know, t-shirts, and I have stuff that I want to do. I just have to, you know, I have to work. I have this I have sort of like I'm pretty nifty. I'm pretty computer literate.
Yeah.
But I also have like a learning disorder. So it's like sometimes I have to read certain things like fucking 17 times over.
Yeah.
I'm not really good test taker. Shit like that.
Well,
But
it's funny.
I get by. I'm not a retard. I get by, you know.
It's funny you say that. Like I'm nowhere near a good test taker. I got my mother found the results from the sanitation test I took, you know, 15, no shit. God damn, longer now, 17 years ago. And wow. And I got a 95 on the test. Like, and anybody that knows about a city test, that's, you know, they show you a picture of a lug nut.
Yeah.
And they ask you what wrench that fits in.
Yeah.
And like now, like I'm like, you know, at the time I'm like, great, I got a 95. Now I look at it, I go, what the fuck did I get wrong on that? Because
Right.
you know, but like, and it's the same thing. I think it's like it's not a disorder. I mean, you know, I'm just saying on my end, like to me, it's just, you know, you get used to it. You just go, oh, okay, I want to get this done. I want to get this done. And then you're not paying attention anymore. You know, that type of stuff for me. That's why I was never a good test taker.
I when I type or I write, I miss words or I'll misspell words. Like, it's like, you know, my brain it's I forgot the name of it, but my brain works quicker than my mechanics do.
Yeah.
You know, like I already have 17 sentences in my head and I'm only typing out 15.
Yeah.
So I'm missing shit. And it's like, I mean, I can admit this. I don't care. People can make fun of me all they want, but
my dad has a great analogy for it. He says, like, inside everybody's brain is you got these little gerbils that are just working tirelessly. You know, your memories, it's all file cabinets. So like I'll ask my dad something and he'll just like look up and then it's just blank stare. And I look and he's just like, yeah, gerbil can't find that file cabinet right now. And it's just like, but it's like, if you really think about it, like we learn so much stuff every day.
Right. But the thing is too, when I started this podcast 8 years ago, I remember things, and my sister, if my sister's still listening, she can vouch for this. I can remember things from 35, even 40 years ago. And I'm 46. I can remember where I was, who I was with, what I was wearing, the smell of the area. But I can't tell you what I had for dinner 3 years ago. and that's fucking, and for me I'm borderline depressed about it. I mean, I told my therapist, I'm like, it sucks that I can't remember shit short term. You know what I'm saying? And my mind doesn't process it all the time. And I have to like stop and think and fucking, and it's just, yeah, my sister said true story, but it's like, I can't process certain things. My sister has the same problem, she said, but like, I can't even like, you know, even like, I mean, I listen, at my job, if I'm on an ambulance, I'm gold, you know, and I, you know, paperwork and patient care, and I barely drove. I didn't want to, but when I did it, when I did. But when it came to driving the ambulance and doing other shit, and then I came into communications, and I was like, this is a 20-year thing now.
Yeah.
And it's like, you have to teach yourself shit, but I know, like, I can do it, but I couldn't write it sometimes. I couldn't, like, or with the skills when I have to retest, I'm like, I failed the station. I'm like, how did I fuck? I've been doing patient care since I'm 17 years old, but they want it a certain way. Yeah. So it's like, but when I write letters now, I like to give greeting cards and like to write letters to people and type letters to people.
Yeah.
And I have to proofread it like 1,700 times before I fucking, when I do stuff on the page, I have to, I'm you know, either I copy and paste, or I just, you know, or I send you guys a text, I'll miss words. And it's like, because my mind is going so fast. Yeah.
I think that just happens. You know, I don't know what kind of trait that would be. That's where you get into the cycle. And I like delving into like psychology type stuff, but you know, that could be something where it could just be as simple as, you know, you're being 2-3 steps ahead. Like, you know, you always got these people, you know, I'll try to swing it back to wrestling. Like, you think of somebody like, you know, like Jake the Snake, you know, who is just probably arguably the most, psychology wise, the most, effective character.
100%.
You know, and it's just like, now how does a guy like him
become a junkie?
Exactly. And it's because it's like, especially if you see the resurrection of Jake the Snake, who, you know, I watched it with Taba, she's listening. I think she's listening. She loved that movie, and she doesn't know anything about him. But the idea, it's the idea of he's doing something that he is passionate about, and like you said, just out of nowhere, like, you know, just being affected in other ways, you know, where he's 2-3 steps ahead in one area, but then in other areas, it's, you know, it's I think that's you know,
it's part of life, because
part of life. Yeah, it's just that's where it's gonna go.
Know, and in my neighborhood, and my dad included, we had so many people in our neighborhood that were like genuinely good people. Like, they were good fucking, you know, they were good parents. They were not good parents, but they were good people. Like, they were good to their neighborhood. They were good at their job. They were good, you know, and then they had these demons, you know, like they had drug problems and alcohol problems and stuff. But almost every junkie I had personally, I knew in my life, were amazing people. My dad, my cousin, my uncle, friends that close to me. I had a partner at work, was probably the best partner I ever had skills wise. And he overdosed. He lived out here actually, from Woodrow Road. But it was like, I think the whole, 2 steps ahead, 3 steps behind. There's something that happened in their life that triggered that, and I think when you look at his life, it's sad. Sometimes, listen, statistically, I shouldn't even be alive. From where I came from, who I hung with, my lifestyle, my family background, I should be dead. But I made conscious decisions as a kid not to do certain things, So it's hard to process some of that sometimes with people. And then people in the public eye too. It's like, you don't know these people. You only know what you see on TV, what you read about them, whatever the case may be.
Well, it's so easy to go, oh man, how can he be depressed?
He's a millionaire.
He's a millionaire. And it's just like, you walk a mile in that shoes and tell me, that means nothing. To me, I see that and I go, that all means nothing. I
watch all these roasts, like these Dean Martin roasts back in the day.
Oh, those are the greatest.
Right? But he was blitzed every fucking night.
Yeah.
The dude had the world by the balls. He had the Vegas thing. He had the Rat Pack.
Wasn't happy.
He wasn't happy. So, and I can understand because I have things in my life and I'm still not happy. I still have to see a fucking therapist and I still have to tell a stranger why I'm sad every fucking day, you know? But in the same breath, you have to wake up every day with a purpose. And I still, when I started the podcast, I was like, listen, man, I'm going to do as much as I can and learn. And I watched YouTube videos, how to get mixes and how to hook wires up. None of this, I would ask, poor missionary, Anthony Missionary Thomas from fucking Wrestling Soup. I picked his brain for the first 2 years of this thing.
Yeah.
And he was he's a like audio, like engineer type dude. And my man Dooch, my man Randy, you met Randy.
Yeah.
He came over one night because he's like a DJ. He went to engineering school. So he was like, you need this. And I would write, I had scrap paper at work or like scratch pads or notebooks. And like when I play Strat too, I still write shit down. Like I can't process shit. I have to write down what I'm going to do. Tomorrow I'm playing Strat. I have to write my lineups up already. I have to look at it. Yeah. Even though I know it in my head, I do this with the podcast all the time. Like I know the throwback, right?
Yeah.
So I'll watch it twice just because sometimes, depending on my time schedule. But it's just how you process.
Well,
things.
it's kind of what I do with the show. I'll peel back the curtain a little bit. Like we have a loose format. I think it's fair to say we have a loose format.
Yeah.
We have points we want to hit, but then it's like the whole week I'll be driving in the car just thinking about what I want. I'll be listening to it. I'll be listening to something else, music, whatever, but I'll be thinking about what I want to say. Oh, I like this. I'll say it this way. I did my buddy Casey's best man speech a number of years ago. And I was he was engaged for 2 years, maybe a year and a half. And I wrote his speech for a year and a half. I didn't write a pen to paper until the night before, but I wrote his speech for a year and a half. Like I just knew what I wanted to do. Yeah. When my back's against the wall, I'll write something down. So like, even though like you said, you kind of got to do that stuff to, formulate it in your mind, but you're always constantly thinking of it. Like I think that would be, I think that's kind of something that gets lost on people.
I've dedicated enough to this. And this is why we added you, because we wanted another. That's what I was coming around to. Adding you to the show a year ago. I had this vision of just having the same setup, and then having a third person just to be not the medium between Choppy and I, but to be another voice besides Choppy and I, but on the same vibe. Yeah. So we don't all have to agree all the time. When we don't agree all the time, which is great.
I think that's good. Yeah.
That's the perfect part of it.
Yeah.
And we could still appreciate the opinion and still, navigate the show. And then the interaction with the fans are probably the greatest thing we have because without social, I want to kill social media so bad. I want to like log off forever, and I can't, because if it wasn't for the podcast, I'd be off social media. I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate what it's become. I hate the politics. I hate the religion shit. I hate people disrespecting people. I use that word hate. I don't like using the word hate, but I can't stand what it's become. But it's our greatest ally.
Oh yeah, and especially with this, like it's really like my definition of what social media is supposed to be is coming together. Even with differing opinions, like let's all face it.
Good night, Nat. Thank you very much.
Let's face it.
Love you, Nat.
That Billy Gunn song is I Got It All is amazing song. I don't care what anybody says. That song's amazing. But the fact that we can have the fact that we can have different opinions about it is what it's supposed to be about. Because how else we, before 3 weeks ago, I completely forgot about this song. It was in the back of my head.
I love the fact that you forgot about it, and Choppy,
and he hates it.
You know what I love about the best part about Choppy is because you guys are the same age almost, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, Choppy will remember shit, and it'll bother him, like the same way it bothered him 20 years ago. He puts himself in his mindset. He gets so mad.
Oh.
Where me, I'm like, okay, there's some things I haven't seen in 20 years.
And it's a good hindsight thing. Like, oh, all right. But like Choppy just gets fucking mad.
He just gets fucking tight, and it's the greatest thing because everybody loves it because this is what he does. He'll take the mic, he'll bang his head.
Yeah.
He puts a new rating up and whatever. But the mindset that I had was just to I wanted to have a format, but keep it as loose as possible because you know what? Once it becomes a job, I don't want to do it no more.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it.
And my disdain for still living out here in the borough has nothing to do with the borough. It's just for me. I moved 30 miles away from my whole life to start a new life, and I have to start a new life over again. But then I made a new life in between that, and I met all these amazing people. I met Choppy and Bree. I met you. I met fucking Lou and his crew, Fallon. There's so many people. There's people that are now in my life that I knew from 10 years that I met 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's for me, it's like, it's coming full circle again. But if it wasn't for my son and this, I wouldn't even be here. But, and I don't want to get too religious, but I feel like God puts us in places for certain reason. God puts people in your life for certain reasons. Like there was a reason why you came to your cousin's house blitz that night.
Yeah.
There's a reason why I was with what's her face there was a reason that all happened.
It's hard to my thing with this type of stuff is you have to prove me otherwise. And it's hard to argue what brought me there that night besides the copious amount of free beer. But I could have been anywhere else. I could have been anywhere else that time, and same thing with the party where, I met Choppy for the first time. When I realized like Choppy was Choppy, I was like, oh shit, like, like I could have been anywhere else that night. I could have had plans. Like it's hard to argue where there's a little bit of a divinity line, or divine intervention, maybe I think it might be the better line. But it's hard to, in my opinion, it's hard to argue. And I'm not a religious guy. But
you build this. I want this to be a brand. This is my brand. This is my brand, our show, and this is something I would do in a bar.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. What we would do in a bar.
Yeah.
This what we did at your cousin's house was what we do in a bar. It's the same thing I would do if I didn't have the podcast.
Yeah.
So that's where my head was.
It's a social gathering.
But then it snowballed. I had the one host, I lost him. Second host, lost him. I got Choppy, I was good. And then I realized I made so many mistakes in terms of like between personnel and like vibe and sometimes content. I was like, the certain things you'd say you can't, and this whole this cancel culture now. It's like, my sense of humor is so outdated, but it's hysterical. And my sister sent me a thing the other day about words that people use in New York City, and like the words that I still use, like fresh and dope and hype and mint. And I'm like, these words are. She described like a third of my lexicon. So it's like I can't listen. I'm a product of my environment. So are you. Yeah. So is Choppy. Choppy came from a different place, but he came. He fucking migrated to the city, to the borough, and it's like he understands what I wanted. And then you automatically understood what I wanted.
Yeah.
And then we and this is what we have. We have the fucking
and like I said, I mean,
triple threat.
I mean, a year later, you know, it's I dare say, I mean, one of the best things I ever did, you know, is hands down was agreeing to this, and it's because it was an open arms. It was a no brainer from hanging out with you guys, you, Phil, Bree, you know, to Robin Elaine, you know, watching pay-per-views. And
if it wasn't for another co-host, I wouldn't have Robin Elaine.
Yeah,
I made friends off of old friends and girlfriends.
Yeah,
like I'm sad I lost these people. I'm still sad about certain things.
But maybe it's meant to be.
Well, that's the thing. I gain. The more I lose, the more I gain. So it's like I don't lose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't lose, and it's that kind of party. You know.
But I will say, just thank you to anybody that's within an earshot of this that hears me. Like I said, everybody that listens is I'll speak for them, and especially speaking for me. You know, for people anybody that wants to hear me talk, if you ask anybody in my life, people are amazed. You know, that people actually give a goddamn of what I'm listening or, you know, what I want to say. But it's just truly an honor.
People validate that's another thing too. It's weird. People validate our opinion. And they appreciate our opinion, and they appreciate how we deliver it. And listen, wrestling podcasts are a dime a dozen now. When I started doing this, there wasn't many podcasts doing this.
Yeah.
And the ones that were doing it are still doing it. And they endorse us.
Yeah.
So I know I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
You know, when famous people name drop you, you know, or you're rolling with people who are really good and you want to live up to that, you want to be that standard, you know. So, you know, listen, it was all set by design, I feel like. Inadvertently.
Yeah.
Inadvertently. So, but outside of, you know, me thanking you, I know the fans appreciate you.
Yeah.
Which is the best part of it, because they make everything better. You know, they make the whole show, you know.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, I think that really is that's a lot of the format too, is the interaction. Like you said, I mean from Mott Spock to Squires with the fucking with the face. What is it? The Reface app?
Yeah,
I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pay for. I've got it over.
I'm amazed by it.
Yeah,
I'm fucking amazed.
But
so like,
if it wasn't for the podcast, I met Mott Spock do another podcast that we both listened to.
Yeah,
and you know, and you just acquire these people are in your life for a reason. You know, like it's like. We'd be lost without certain guys now, you know, and we have guys in our corner. You know, we have we have the Robs and the Lanes and the Mott's Box and fucking Matt Squires and, you know, Kid Human. He used to help me host. You know, everybody and all the other shows, man. You know, the Midnight Jury, of course, our brothers, the Wizards,
the Rant.
Double A has been doing this longer than everybody.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So it's like it's that kind of party.
Yeah.
So. Either way, you've been here a year. It's been a blast. We're shooting for 400.
Yep.
And we're gonna finish the year strong. We have a lot of cool shit lined up for you guys.
The quest for 400.
The quest for 400. It's like Chariots of Fire.
Let's do it, man.
All
this
right.
is the best year of my life, hands down. Thank you guys. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. This has been fucking cool. Even we know we were contained.
Wait a minute. Hold on. We're a half hour in.
There you go.
Salud. Thank you guys.
Salud, Jindal. All right. Where do you want to go first? Did you see NXT?
I read about it. That's about it. I know.
I didn't see
NXT. I know your boy
Pat McAfee.
I can't wait to ask you. How do you feel about him helping out? First off, Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch getting the belts. We said that last week. We want that to happen.
Sure.
It happened.
Sure.
Now put the asterisk on it with Pat McAfee helping him. Add or subtract to you.
I'll give it an ad, even though I'm not a fan of him.
Yeah,
I'll give it an ad because if they would have did this in the beginning, instead of him fighting Adam Cole right away, I would have rather see him do this, like fuck them over, and then go for Cole, or Cole go for him, like fight. So they kind of told the story and skipped the page.
Yeah,
you know, like that's how I feel. But I mean, whatever. This might, you know, I'm old school, and you know, if Pat McAfee is dedicating enough to the craft, and on top of that, You know, he has a very famous show.
Hold on, I'm sorry, I got to
Go ahead,
interrupt.
go ahead, go ahead.
Squire is saying thank you, Jay, for being the Chris Cruz of Turnbuckle.
Wow.
Oh, that is so awesome.
Wow.
Oh, that is so awesome. Oh, that is hilarious.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep playing that fucking.
That
song.
is fucking amazing.
Yeah. So I don't, I feel like they skipped a part of the story, but no, I'm cool with it. I get it.
I like it.
I like
listen,
it.
He had a let's face it, played in the NFL. The dude's an athlete.
He has a radio show now.
Massive radio show.
Yeah.
He huge wrestling fan. There's no denying
Correct.
that. So, he's not coming in trying to make a buck. I think he's coming in with the right intentions. Had a good showing. I would dare say a really good showing as a quote unquote celebrity having a match. It was entertaining. Believable. That could be left up for discussion. But for me, I like him there. Let's see where it goes. I think we let it sit, see what happens. To me, I know Kushida with a huge win.
Oh, between him, Ciampa, and the Dream,
huge win.
I've been a Kushida fan since.
I think this is gonna be a start of something. I think they're gonna try. I think he's bypassing the cruiserweight. He's going right for the North American.
Let me tell you something. To me, Jushin Thunder Liger is probably the greatest junior heavyweight of all time. Okay, bar none.
Yeah.
Kushida is a very close second.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like neck and neck. I love him. I think he's fantastic. This is a perfect spot for him. I don't know if he should go for the heavyweight title right away.
No, I don't think so. I think, but he's a shoo-in for the North American right now.
100%. Yeah, 100%. I'm not mad at that. It was a good match. He beat Ciampa and by pinfall. I mean, like you said, he has the momentum.
Yeah.
And I mean, listen, beating Ciampa, and that's another point. Beating Ciampa should give him an NXT title shot.
Essentially, yes.
Yes.
It puts him in the conversation.
But he's not done with the Dream yet.
No. Which I'm not upset with. You know what? I like him. I like this whole jeans wearing, dungaree wearing Kushida.
Time splitters, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but to me, from what I read on there, and then Io Shirai. What was the other thing with her?
Io Shirai is they have the what's her face came back. Ember Moon.
Yeah,
she fought Jessie Kamea.
Yep.
Whatever. And then Dakota Kai came out, attacked her. That's gonna whatever.
Yeah.
Austin Theory, Bronson Reed.
Yeah. So now what happened with him?
Reed beat Theory by pinfall twice.
And Theory is kayfabe quitting. I'm assuming.
He left NXT.
Yeah. So whatever. Does he show up?
On SmackDown now?
Yeah.
Because he was like almost an afterthought on Raw.
Yeah. I guess he
unless he goes back to Zelina Vega because she's splitting with Andrade.
Yeah.
So I mean, that could be. I know Choppy's not big on the Legado del Fantasma guy, but I think it's a good gimmick for the whole. He has like those.
Yes.
Yes. And there's a bunch of. The problem is with the cruiserweights. There's not enough. They don't get enough time on TV anymore.
No.
But you fought Isaiah Swerve Scott. It's like.
Well, I like what they're doing with them. Because they're making a little faction between them and and the other cat from the Performance Center. I forget his name now. But he's impressive as hell too. But I love. I always call him. He's still gonna be King Cuerno to me, but. But and especially like with him and Joaquin Wild, another one I just gonna call DJ Z, from Impact. But I love that faction. I think it's got legs in my opinion. But I did see AEW.
Well, let me just finish.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I like the Drake Maverick Killian Dane thing. I think it's fantastic. They lost the match, but it's like the story's fun.
Yeah, it's a story they've done, but it's a fresh new look on it.
Yeah. All right. So, and I like to see where it goes. I think Killian Dane actually saved him last week from like a beating.
Yeah.
And it was like he's like, and he after he saves him, he like threatens his life. I think it's hysterical. He should shave his back though a little bit. I'm not. And listen, Nikki Cross, she's adorable. I want to do terrible things to her. I know she's married to the big boy.
Yep.
But like, she's got to groom him or something, man. He's a fucking wildebeest.
Yeah.
Come on, flick your bick, homie. Come on. This ain't 1974 fucking
Georgiano Steel.
Yeah, this ain't mid South. You know, you don't have to be a Mongolian stomper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or Furpo, whatever the hell his name was, Pampo Furpo.
You can get it waxed.
Or just shape it up or something. Yeah. Put a fucking do what Jim Neihart used to do. He used to shave his abs. He used to give himself abs with body hair. You know what I'm saying? Do that, dude. I mean, that's just a fucking terrible look. And on top of that, he wears like these tank tops.
Yeah.
So it shows off all his girth. You can plant plump tomatoes in those shoulders.
It's a big boy.
He is a big boy.
Big boy.
Hey, big boy. Hey, big boy. Where's my big boy? Where is this?
Hey, big boy. Big boy.
Yeah.
So, all right. AEW.
Yeah, this was.
Okay. I know I've been shitting on it for the last 2 weeks, and rightfully so. And I know people oohing on over the fucking steak dinner, and I got to tell you, I didn't like it at all.
Yeah.
I could see why they did it. I could see the whole. I could see why it was done. For me, it was so unnecessary.
I would love to be the contrary and say I loved it. I know there's people out there that loved it. I like the originality.
Oh no, yeah, obviously.
You know, MJF shined in that. Jericho, obviously, this is something that's not really out of the realm of Jericho, but MJF to me, it shined out of that because it's just making him versatile. And you know, and I'm granted I'm trying to shine up a piece of shit here, because I didn't
shine that turd.
I didn't like the segment at all, but you know, originality wise, I liked it for that. It went on and on.
I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand the concept. Like, you know, I was just like, come on, man. It's a fucking musical. And then they brought the Jaguar cheerleaders to dance for them. And I was like, come on, man. This is just stupid.
Yeah, that was
stupid. Bad. And, you know, I don't know. I like, and I know people say, well, MJF doesn't need Jericho and vice versa, but it's just going to enhance MJF.
Yes.
So if you want to, you want to take something positive out of that.
I don't think this did anything to MJF. I don't think this.
No,
I think
if
anything, it's just going to add to him. You know, I really do believe that. But you know, something like this, you know, this could have been a good clip to put on YouTube. This didn't need to be on the show. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I'm not saying put it on Being the Elite, but you can have a special Being the Elite.
You could have did a whole Being the Elite on that segment.
Yeah,
you know,
steak dinner type thing. You know, that's kind of my look on it. It's like that didn't have to be on the show.
It was so unnecessary. Like, you know, and again, this was them trying to be different, which is fine. But I mean,
but like you said, you're supposed to be the antithesis of the WWE, you know, and this is reeking of, you know, Vince McMahon. Why don't we just have him do a Broadway show? You know, like, you know, that type of thing. You know, where like you would that's not out of the realm of possibilities there. But to me, you know, it could have been online and would have had the same effect. I'll even dare say if I seen it online, I probably would have liked it better. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, they could have did it like a YouTube exclusive or something like that.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So now speaking of storytelling, this is where I like it. So now the Young Bucks win the 4-way to challenge FTR for the title at the next pay-per-view, which is like in 2 weeks. Was it Full Gear? I think it's called. And it was a good match. Alex Reynolds was legit knocked out.
Yeah. Did you see that?
Yes.
And it's funny because we've seen a lot, and we'll talk about the bump later, but like with Jericho and Gato, but like it didn't look that bad at first.
Yeah.
And then like if you slow it down, like I seen something slowed down and I'm like, oh, I could see it now. But at the time, but man, he was
He said he was knocked out. Even Cody came out from the back, and they say he went on his own consciousness. But I mean, it's a bit of a scare. Listen, these guys are taking bumps like crazy. It's not the same kind of same wrestling that we grew up with.
Yeah,
so
that
should happen more often now.
I think, and I think it's more, you know, it's more closely guarded, more closely paid attention to now. This type of stuff, which rightfully so. But you know, like stuff like this, I just think it's a 1 in a million shot. You know, if he was just 6 inches more over to the left, he would have been fine. It's it's nobody's fault. It's wrestling. This is what happens.
No, it was an accident.
Yeah.
All right. So now the eliminated tournament for the championship title match, Joey Janela was supposed to fight Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
And Joey Janela was exposed to somebody with COVID.
Yeah, from a GCW show, I think, from the prior
Game
weekend.
Changer. Yeah. So we don't know if he caught it or
I don't think it was. I don't think it was from somebody at the show.
Just
from what I
precaution.
understand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
I just think it was for
precautionary.
precaution. And
so Kenny Omega squashes Sonny Kiss.
yeah, this was. So putting Sonny Kiss in makes sense. So obviously, this means that Joey Janela was going to be squashed by Kenny Omega. That's the only thing I could think of. I don't think there was a squash because it was Sonny Kiss. I think this was the plan from get-go because that camera shot was there. Like we're seeing
the transformation.
We're seeing the transformation,
which is what I wanted from the start. You know, but everybody's like, oh, he's an executive producer. He's going to book himself champion like fucking Cody. And I was like, no. I said to him with one kid on Twitter, I was like, no. I said, but if you're going to tell a fucking story, you have his former tag team partner in the tournament. The Bucks are going heel. The Elite kind of broke up a little bit.
It's almost leaning towards it's going to be, that Adam Page Omega storyline still there.
So I mean, listen, Kenny Omega was up until recently, up until he went to AEW, he was the best wrestler on the planet, and there's nobody that can challenge that with me. He was the best performer on the planet. He was better at one point, better than Okada. He was better than fucking Jericho. He was better than whoever WWE had at the top. Better than Roman Reigns or Randy Orton or now fucking, which is nuts, Galloway. He was the shit. Okay, his career took a huge turn. He decided he wanted to be more and do more, and his buddies and him got they got what they wanted. They got their own little fed, And this is where now he's going to get the spotlight. And he should be in a title match. He should be in a tournament. He's one of the best wrestlers on the planet, you know. Jungle Boy Wardlow was the next match. Wardlow gets the win.
This match was pretty good. You know, a little believable, in the tail of the tape, or unbelievable, I should say, in the tail of the tape. But I was really impressed. I was really, really impressed with it. I thought for sure it would have been Penta Rey Fenix opening it up, coming out hot.
Yeah, well, speaking of Penta and Rey, now, so Elaine and I called Penta winning because now he gets to fight Kenny Omega, and that was the rematch from when we were in Chicago 2 years ago. So that would have been so now surprise, surprise, Rey Fenix wins.
Yeah,
but is now hurt.
Oh, so he was hurt during the match.
Yeah, so it was announced. It was announced today.
Yeah,
that Penta is going to wind up fighting Kenny Omega.
Cool. Yeah, and it seemed like that was a scary spot.
Yeah. You knew they would have come correct. I agree. I would have opened with it, but the whole 4-way thing with the prior party and Alex Reynolds, Blade, Butch the Bucks, FTR getting involved.
Yep.
It just now you're telling some stories, which you should be doing with this bullshit fucking having these 9,000 8-man tags every fucking week. It's retarded.
But it goes back to they have, like I said, we were ranking on them last week. This is how you got to get the talent out there. You can't do it. They're not cycling like they used to do in NXT. They're just everybody's out there at the same time.
Listen, and Omega going heel with the intro with
coming out with the brooms,
the cleaner. Come on, man,
slowly happening.
Yes,
love it.
Yes, goodbye and good night. Adam Page Cole Cabana had a really good match with Page.
Yes,
no one thought Cabana was going to win. Page is my pick for the future of the company. He's always been.
Yep.
From the start. That was a really good match. I thought it was anyway.
Yep.
And And then you had, and I think it was it.
How about the Kingston promos? They were fire. Fucking fire. And then even I know you're not a John Moxley. But he had a great promo too.
Yeah, he did.
He was walking.
He could
through.
talk, dude. He's
when it seems like if he's invested, and I guess maybe he is. But Eddie Kingston is just he's just so passionate that he's it's going to be a bad analogy, but see if you can catch it, where like he's a little bit Dusty-esque, where he's looking into the camera and grabbing the viewer and making you listen, like in a sense of like you're believing in him because he believes it. That type of passion. I mean, that I'm not saying he's as good a talker as Dusty is, but he's probably hands down the best talker in AEW right now.
Oh, 100%.
I think he's head and shoulders above everybody.
100%. And he's pulling some stuff that's truth, which is cool. I like the whole.
Me too. I like it.
I like all that shit.
I don't think he's gonna win.
Nah,
but
unfortunately,
let's just look at it, in a macro sense. A few months ago, he was selling gear to pay bills,
to pay his mortgage.
Now he's on a prime spot. He's on a pay-per-view for
he's main eventing
the number 2 company, and
correct.
in the States.
Correct.
And like you said, we said it before. Take a step back and enjoy the moment. I hope Eddie Kingston's doing that because and he is, but you just know that he's where he's supposed to be right now.
100%, and I'm so happy for him.
Yep.
I like that street thug, New York shit. I know it's very very what's the word I want to use?
Abrasive?
No, not abrasive. It's very one-sided. What's another word for one-sided? Biased.
Yeah.
It's very biased comment that I say that I like that shit because it's it's a New York thing, and I think these guys that fucking fought for everything they had in their life, and one reason why I wear a fucking underdog tattoo, not because I like the character all the time. It's because it's to remind me of the upbringing, and this guy is the epitome of it. He scraped and crawled and he did everything he had to do, and he finally got a spot.
Yeah, and even Moxley, he laid mention to it too. Like he was, he wasn't hiding where he came from. Like he was the darling of the Indies as well. But he was just saying that he moved on, and I thought it was a really good promo. It's really making me invested in it. It's truly making me invested in it. I don't think Kingston's gonna eke out a win here, but
it'll give him a good match.
Give him a great match.
It's gonna be a great match. Yeah, they'll probably break out the combat zone fucking gimmick.
Probably.
They'll probably do some little like death match type of shit. They'll probably be
they're gonna have an I Quit match. So
there'll be some shit involved. Maybe some shenanigans, maybe not.
Yeah.
But yeah, AEW is I'm excited for Full Gear.
Yeah,
I'm definitely gonna order it.
It's making me excited. Like we're gonna do Hell in a Cell, predictions.
Oh yeah, we did it right now. Actually,
we're gonna do Hell in a Cell, and it's funny because we were saying in pre-production, like it's like oh god, that's right. There's a fucking pay-per-view. It's just like every other weekend we're doing a fucking pay-per-view thing.
All right, so let's do that real quick, and then we'll take a break unless we have any more news, right?
I want to touch on Retribution.
Oh, all right. So you want
I got to talk.
Do you want to do Retribution first, then the pay-per-view?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
What the fuck is going on over there? How do you have this faction that is threatening the very fiber of your company?
I didn't watch Raw at all.
And then they're coming out for the opening thing. So now here they are. They're supposed to be this big thing that's going to take over the company, and we're here to take over. And then they're jobbing in the first match of Raw. Jobbing. In the first match of Raw.
It's bad booking, brother. It's bad booking.
It is ridiculous.
It's bad booking. It's fucking.
It could have been. It could have went somewhere if booked right, like you said. I don't think it's the people playing it. I think it's the people backstage. And it's not making me like we were just saying about being excited for Full Gear, like this is not making me excited for Hell in a Cell. There's a few matches I want to see, but
no, it's bullshit. It's you can't. That's terrible storytelling. Like you said, these guys supposed to come in, make a difference, make a run roughshod over everybody, and then you job in the first match. Even with the draft, you would think, okay, they drafted new people, we'll take advantage of that. We'll jump these new people.
Yeah,
like you can add that to your repertoire. It wasn't going to happen, and then on top of that, you're using people in Retribution that aren't household names, and B, it feels like they're just guys that you weren't going to do anything with. They already took me and Yim out of it already.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a failed experiment. Same with the fucking Raw Underground. That was a failed experiment.
Yeah.
It's listen. I understand they got to give 3 hours of programming to USA every week. I get it. I understand Fox gets 2 hours.
At what point do you dial back?
At one point, you have to stop and say, listen. And what's really weird is, like, I'll give you a good example. Tomorrow I'm playing my strat league, right? We haven't been together since COVID, since the draft, which is April, right? So, like, we had nothing. We were doing it, remotely. WWE is doing everything remotely. There's no crowds. There's no travel. There's no nothing. You would think these guys and girls who were writing this shit, they would have the foresight to be like, listen, man, we have all this downtime.
Yeah.
We have all this downtime. Let's focus our energy on maybe rebranding some guys, maybe pushing some girls. We have the draft now. The draft is great. The draft is cool. They treat it like it's a sports draft.
Yeah.
They have the ticker. The general manager thing. Stephanie McMahon comes out. I love all that. I love draft. I love drafting. Period. Fantasy, sports, wrestling, anything. Anything with a draft, I love. I like drafting more than I like playing. So the bottom line is that you're not dedicating enough time, and you're doing these guys an injustice.
Yeah.
Because if you're gonna build these people like Donovan Dijakovic and fucking Ali, these other cats,
Dio Madden,
Madden, you need to like give them the ball and let them have their time. You're giving the Hurt Club a bunch of time. I get it.
Well, like I said, that's who they faced on Monday. Which, listen, and tell you the truth, Hurt Club is one of the best things that's going on.
It is the
right
best
now.
thing. Well, they brought Miz and Morrison back. That's gonna be huge too.
Yeah,
that's gonna be huge too.
But still, like you see that and you just go, what are you thinking?
Why
do you bring these kids in with such fucking like fire at first, and then literally fire. They literally had a flamethrower at one point.
Yeah, you have all this downtime. Like I was, playing with Strat. I was playing all the Strat games. I was doing all the shit. Like I was planning my lineups. I was doing all the shit. Like you have all this time. Invest the fucking time, man.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You're not traveling. You're not doing anything. You're in one state. You're in one spot. Like, come on, man. Do the right thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, before we started talking about Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
That we are mildly excited for.
Yeah, well, listen, I was telling Mr. Fallon, I was like, I may not even watch it right away.
Yeah.
I may watch, I'm going to get Bound for Glory because I'm going to dedicate some more time to Impact.
Yeah, we were saying, I want to dedicate some more. I think I'm on board with that. I know that's Choppy's thing.
Yeah. But I'm going to dedicate. Choppy already talked about getting the gimmick, Impact. Which is cool. Yes, we're going to start doing the TNA episodes next year.
Yeah, I can't wait
in January. But I'm not even excited. I want to be. I told Fallon this today. I'm not even fucking excited. Like I want to be excited. I can't. I'm emotionally detached from Raw pay-per-views. It's disgusting. But there's SmackDown matches in this too, though.
Yeah, which is good. Thank God.
Thank God. Jeff Hardy and Elias. It's going to be good.
Yeah, I'm happy to see Elias back. But Jeff Hardy's on. Listen, how is Elias come back and not going to win?
Yeah, 100%.
Jeff Hardy's on a roll right now, but
100%.
It's got to be Elias. It has to be.
Yeah, this is interesting too. And everybody's talking about Bayley being number one women's wrestler in the world. She defends the title against her BFF in the Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
Does Sasha finally get her due?
I want to say yes. I think I was listening to Solid Monsters podcast. Shout out to him.
Shout out to Jason. What's up, brother?
He had a birthday too.
Happy birthday! Yeah, he did. Happy birthday.
And he said it best. This match, if you're not going to do a title change, with Drew and Randy.
Well, that's the next match, but
Or no, I'm sorry,
With Bayley and Sasha?
yeah, Roman, yeah, have this match close the show because Sasha last year had, and I totally agree. Sasha had the best match last year against Becky in the Hell in a Cell.
oh yeah.
Like literally match of the night.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
Sasha can get it done.
Good point.
Now she's got Bayley in there. Yeah, well, that's Jason. I don't want to take credit for his post.
No, but I mean it's a good point.
It's just so perfect, and and plus it would be a great coup for the company. Have the women's. The first time ever. Like now, just start integrating it in. Start shuffling the deck.
It's not big news anymore.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean.
Because the girls can go.
That's what I mean. So let it happen.
Right.
You
Exactly.
put your money where the fucking mouth is.
That's it. Yeah.
And let it fucking happen.
100%, brother. I agree.
And I think this is where Sasha. I think Bailey's had a year reign, a great year reign.
Yeah.
I think it started off slow, started off a little bumpy. She's a monster heel. I love her as a heel. But I think this is Sasha's time.
Yeah, Soccer Mom's going down, I think. So, and does Randy Orton finally win the fucking title from Drew McIntyre?
I want to say yes.
Yeah.
I want to say yes. Why else? Why a third time?
The only reason why I say he might not win is because the reason why he could win is because they drafted a bunch of new heels.
Yeah.
So like you can, either give McIntyre the rematches or put him in a tag team. You can do now. This is where the writers should be like, okay, we have a whole new crop of people.
Yeah.
And Randy would be a 15-time champion. And let's be honest, he's one of the best workers in the last 20 years that they've had. Hands down. So, McIntyre has been a strong champion. He fought everybody. He's put on, he hasn't, I don't think, first of all, and I'm not a big McIntyre fan at all, but he's had solid matches since WrestleMania.
Yep.
Since he beat Brock, he had solid fucking matches. And he's doing everything he's supposed to be doing.
Yep.
So he could be strong. He reminds me of Sheamus from like fucking 10 years ago.
Yes.
Where Sheamus didn't need the belt after he lost it to be that monster fucking heel.
Well, I think what they're hoping, I think what everybody's hoping is that come WrestleMania next year. I mean, I don't think it's going to be in LA. I don't think it's going to be in Hollywood. I think it's going to be in Florida. I think they're going to look to get it in a stadium.
Yeah.
I think they're going to look to have some sort of, audience participation. I think they're going to have, Drew's Big Moment Part 2, I think.
You could build it. You could.
I think this is where it starts.
He could win the Rumble again.
Yep.
And I wouldn't be bad. I wouldn't be mad at that.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
No.
I think you bring him in early. I think you bring him in at an earlier number. I think he was like 16, 17. He had a great showing at the Rumble. But you bring him in earlier. Let him fucking earn it. Don't have him come in at 27.
I would say if Otis was if Otis was on Raw.
Supposedly there was they were saying in the chat room, Halen was saying that there was some bad fucking gimmick with Otis. I cannot wait to see that.
Well, I mean, if Otis was on Raw, that could be another thing for Drew McIntyre. Hey, I'll fight you for that fucking briefcase.
Yeah. I never liked those things, man. Because like if I have the briefcase, no, fuck you. I got it, man. I'm not putting this on the line.
No.
But yeah, I think that can happen at some point.
They're doing it in New Japan.
Yeah.
Next month. Kenta's fighting I'm sorry. Jay White's fighting he's fighting Kota Ibushi. For the suitcase. It's not gonna happen.
No shit.
But shout out to Ibushi, by the way. He wins the G1 Climax. And by the way, we called that if he's gonna win, he has to have a title by now. But anyway, so does Randy Orton win the title?
I want to say yes.
Yeah, me too.
I think this is where you start, like you said, you start the Drew train, version 2.0. Starting now. So I want to say yes.
And he's good now. He doesn't need the title.
No, I don't think so.
Randy could use it to put somebody else over.
I think so. I think you insert, the New Day went to Raw, right? So and Big E stayed on SmackDown, I want to say.
Yep.
So, you could I was hoping Big E was there, but then you can still do the Big E against Roman Reigns, so I want to see him. I want to see him in the title picture. That's where I'm going with that.
All right, Universal Strap. The big chief, the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, taking on his cousin Jey Uso.
I quit
in a Hell in a Cell I Quit match.
I like the stipulations. I love what they're doing with Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
I think heel Roman is where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
There's no fucking way he's losing his belt. Sorry, Jey Uso.
Does Jimmy get involved? Or does it straight up,
I think it's going to be a straight up. I think it's going to be a straight up dogfight. They're going to sit in there. I'm afraid. I'm afraid it's going to be a little, too much too soon. Having another match with Jey Uso and Roman Reigns, but I like Jey Uso in the main event picture. Let's see where it goes, but Roman Reigns going to win.
All right, that's cool. Anything else before we take a break?
No,
nothing. Right?
I think that's it.
All right, let's keep this train going. And we have a really cool throwback for you. This is Jay's baby tonight, so Jay's going to take over the throwback tonight. And I really had fun watching it, actually, believe it or not. Even the bad stuff, I had enjoyed watching it. But thanks for hanging out with us tonight. And again, thank you to my sister for the gimmicks. It was really cool. And she made it a point. She made it a point to come into the chat room to make sure she saw you open it. That's pretty cool. All right, listen. Take a quick break. We'll plug our friends. We have a cool little throwback for you tonight, celebrating Jay's birthday. We got a Turnbuckle Throwbacks. We're live on the rant, and we'll be right back. Take it away, Lord Alfred Hayes.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Okay, let's give this a try. The Shining Wizards is a funny wrestling podcast. No. The Shining Wizards is an insightful wrestling podcast. How about this? The Shining Wizards is a great wrestling podcast that airs live Monday nights at 7 p.m. East on rantemradio.com and Rant Entertainment Media on the TuneIn app. Of course, it's available on all podcasting platforms. I think that covers it. To check us out, go over to shiningwizards.com and get ready to join us for some wrestling talk and talk about wrestling.
I don't know. All those moments will be lost in time. Like tears.
In a world where Hollywood tries to tell you how to live while doing the exact opposite, where fresh ideas are tossed away for a cash grab reboot, where the media has become nothing but propaganda and freedom is traded for what they tell you is security and safety, there is Inconclusive Breakdown, your weekly look at current events and entertainment with no political correct BS. Just news and uncensored opinions everywhere you get podcasts. A proud member of the Shining Wizards Network.
Horns up, beautiful motherfuckers. Radioactive Metal is here on the Shining Wizards Network, and we want you to listen.
Every week, we cover the world of heavy metal and speak to your favorite bands.
We discuss new releases, concerts, controversies, and everything else that's related to heavy metal.
And occasionally, we even talk about pro wrestling.
Catch us live every Thursday night on purerockradio.net.
Listen to past episodes at radioactivemetal.org or at shiningwizardsnetwork.com.
And remember, it's not metal unless it's radioactive metal.
Hey, this is Mike from the Midnight Jury. When you're done with this show, join my co-hosts Adam, Cal, Sydney, and I every Friday as we travel back to the last old school generation of the 80s and 90s to review the best and worst in pop culture, horror, and occasionally pro wrestling on WLWstudios.com or the Midnight Jury feeds on iTunes, TuneIn Radio, or Player FM. Go back in time when it was all about VHS, arcades, and hanging out at the mall. And remember that every second Saturday of the month, we go live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Rant EM Radio, which includes taking your calls. Once again, that's the Midnight Jury on iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Player FM, and our home, WLWstudios.com. We'll see you there.
Yo, monkeys, it's me, DDP, the king of Bada Bing, the master, the diamond cutter, the three-time world champion and WWE Hall of Famer. And you, monkeys, well, you're listening to Rhea and Choppy on Turnbuckle Throwbacks. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Bang!
There is literally everything on the internet. That is amazing.
I got it all.
Ow! That's amazing. How about that? I might like this better than the original. Oh, we haven't done that.
Oh boy!
Before I just want to give my buddy Mike Miller a shout out. He's
400 episodes.
Yeah,
of the trophy horse.
450 trophy.
450.
horse.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Like I said, he's up on everything. I mean, he tells me shit that I have no idea. I'm still on. It's funny. We were just making fun of. Well, I wasn't because I like these games too. So apparently, I just found something out. There's 2D games. You know, when you go left, right.
Oh, sure.
You know, like old, Mario Brothers or whatever.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
my girl's son has been playing this one on the Xbox that it's like that, and my girl's brother has Borderlands and Batman Arkham Asylum and like really cool games,
graphic wise.
Yeah, like and then meanwhile, like me and him are playing this this 8-bit game.
Dude, I borrowed Choppy's emulator.
Yeah,
I
he
was playing fucking wrestling. I was part of WrestleFest. I was playing all weekend. Shout out to Mike.
Yeah, shout out. Listen to his show. They just recorded 450 episodes.
Yeah. They went live the other night.
Yeah, it's some really good stuff over there. Please take a listen.
Yeah, take a listen to the Trophy Horse podcast.
It's not often I put him over, but I'll put him over there.
Nah, you got to put Mike over. He actually helped us out a couple months ago.
Oh yeah, big time
during COVID when COVID first started. So we got to give Mike a shout out when the opportunity arises.
I never talked to him. I work with him since I came on. I've never talked to him so much until a few months ago.
Yeah. No, shout out to Mike. He probably has one of the best fucking podcast names ever.
Yeah, right, Joe.
Come on, dude. That's fucking genius.
Apparently, that's a PlayStation thing, though.
Like, I guess I'm not a big. My son would know. I'm not. I mean, I have all the systems. I don't play as much as they do. I just play. I just jump on. I play the sports games once in a while, and
that's.
But I have a lot of shit. I play Halo and stuff like that. My son plays all that shit. I have all the systems for him. Really, I play all the retro games. I play fucking Uno on my Switch.
Get out.
Yeah, I play fucking and I like mindless fighting games too. Like Tekken and I got the Injustice thing. I like all the superheroes. Like Street Fighter, I bought the Street Fighter edition, the special edition.
It was funny.
I like all those mindless fucking fighting games.
Speaking of like the Xbox games, we were playing Red Dead Redemption.
I heard about that game,
and I was having more fun. Just like you can do all the missions or whatever.
Sure.
But like I was just having more fun interacting with people and like driving, walking around on the horse and like, oh man, I got to eat now. Like I played that for like 2 hours. I was like, I've got nothing done.
It's like when I was a kid, you played Gauntlet and Warrior needs food badly, and you're like, oh fuck, and you're killing everybody. You're like, all right, you gotta, when you have to think more than when you should, like when you're playing these, like that's like when back in the day when the first PlayStation came out, we were playing like Final Fantasy and stuff like that, it's a lot involved. And you gotta build your characters, you gotta put shit on them, you have to feed them, you have to fucking make sure they don't die. It's like Dungeons and Dragons, you have a campaign. But then it evolves, and you're like, I just don't have the fucking mindset to sit there and invest all this time in these games anymore.
Yeah.
I just want to put it on, fuck around for a little while, and go to bed. But even the sports games are complicated now. Like the hockey game, the NHL game, it's like they add a feature every year. And you basically using every button on a controller just to move your guys around.
Yeah,
I'm like, come on, man, give me pass and shoot and just and maneuver. I can't. It's ridiculous, but no, it's technology, and then if you want to keep up with the Joneses, definitely listen to Mike and the Trophy Horse podcast. They're doing really big things over there.
He says some things to me where I look at him I was like, what? Like, wait, slow down.
But they do people like you a service, because
exactly.
If you want to get hip to something, you're not, So yeah, but anyway, give them a shout, give them a listen. Tell them we sent you. You're not gonna get anything, but tell them we sent you anyway, and then go fuck yourself. No, I'm joking. All right, throwback of the week. You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it, baby.
And now, here is your Throwback of the Week, sponsored by the Shining Wizards Network and Rant EM Radio.
Let me set Jay up for this.
Oh, yeah.
October 26th, 1997. From the MGM Grand in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. 12,457 paid. I don't have the buy rate.
1.1.
1.1, thank you. It is Jay's birthday pick.
Yeah. So really quick story. So as a kid, I don't know how many young people we have here, but we used to be able to record stuff, live before DVR. We used to have a cassette tape,
video cassette, VHS.
And
of course.
So every time, my mom was really looking back on. If you would have asked me then, she was like the meanest woman ever. But my mother was very good with buying pay-per-views. It wasn't all the time, but she did ones that I really pushed for. If I did something, if I passed the test or whatever the fuck, But this was one of them. Funny thing though was the one that I used to have was Halloween Havoc 1996. That was the one I had. So I originally told them 97 because I just got it mixed up. I actually chose this one because of the Rey Eddie match, and I remember the cage match. I remember having a VHS tape, and I want to say maybe it was the best of Halloween Havoc. I want to say, and it was the cage match with Piper and Hogan, and we'll talk about it later. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, man. I said 97. Let's just stay with it. But it was 96 was the one I had, and 96 was the one where it was Hogan against, who did he beat? I'm drawing a blank of who he beat, but Big Show was part of the NWO, and all of a sudden it was the debut of Roddy Piper, and I'll never forget that because I used to listen to that promo all the time, and so that was the original reason why I wanted 96, but I'm an idiot and I told the boys 97. So, but it was a good event anyway.
Yes, absolutely.
So not our usual stinkers that we've been watching in later years. Although I do have a theory, so and I'll talk about it later.
Okay, so Tony Schiavone, it's Bobby the Brain Heenan and the Professor.
I was a little upset that Dusty didn't have the red jacket on. I wanted that red fucking
Listen,
a red leather jacket.
He was there, and Dusty on commentary was always gold anyway.
Yeah, this was commentary wise, it was good because they kind of all teamed up on, like, Bobby was still playing a little weasel, not a heel per se, but like a scaredy cat and type thing, and they were giving him the business a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, I liked, although Bobby Heenan to come to find out was miserable, he always came correct.
Yeah.
He mastered his craft. You know, Shivani was always the fucking captain of the ship.
Straight,
you know? Yeah,
straight man.
Yeah. But you know, you add Dusty to anything, it's fucking. You know, you could put Dusty.
Aces,
yeah, of course it is. He's the fucking dream, dude.
He's the man.
But the professor Mike Tenay joins the booth for the first 3 matches.
Yeah,
so,
and rightfully so.
And rightfully so, because that's allegedly his expertise.
And there was a few pot shots from Bobby just saying, "Oh, just Tenay, he knows everything."
Jackson, yeah, he knows, right? So your first match, Jay?
Yuji Nagata against Ultimo Dragon.
Blue Justice.
Now, how about you know, I would say a young Yuji, but like, you know, he's not that young here, you know. He's got to be early 30s.
Well, Nagata's over 50 now. He still wrestles Blue Justice.
And you know, and then Yuji, of course, coming along with, you know, friend of the show, Sonny Ono, the originator of the selfie.
That's right.
I think we are saying that
he invented the selfie.
He invented the selfie. Anybody that says anything otherwise, we have it.
And
you know.
Sonny's a karate champion, so no one's gonna argue him.
Yep.
So Ono did wrestle, did manage Dragon for a hot minute, and then they had a falling out. So Nagata was his gun for hire, that's how they put it. But you gotta understand too, like this was the working agreement with New Japan at the time that they had. Eric Bischoff did, so they were swapping guys all the time. They had at one point they had Tenzan and Chono, and then they all went to Japan and started their own NWO, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But Yuji Nagata is one of my favorite wrestlers, actually, and to see him still wrestling is cool, even though it's like the curtain jerkers.
But still,
if you watch his stuff on New Japan, he hasn't skipped a beat, man.
And this match was no different. This match was good.
Yeah, this was a good match.
WCW at this time, I think we've said it on the show a handful of times. Their undercard was just way better. It was leaps and bounds better than their main event. The main event is what brought people there. You know, the names of the Hogans, Pipers, Savage, you know, DDP, Sting, whoever. But their undercard was always on point, and this was the exact same. I remember being a kid and just Ultimo Dragon. He was, like I said, especially when he debuted, he came out with those 7-8 titles draped all over him. This dude just came in like a star.
Listen, when they have moves named after you, like, I mean, listen, it's the ultimate compliment. But like, if you're getting moves named after you that are still used to this day, like it's in frequent repertoires now of certain high flying wrestlers and teams and stuff like that. Like, you know, the Bucks and the Lucha Brothers and Lucha House Party uses that. You know, a Private Party uses them all the time. Fucking Street Profits, everybody does the Acai Moonsault.
Yeah,
you know, so it's like when you're naming moves after you're a pretty good wrestler. So him having all those titles didn't surprise me.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but the match was pretty good.
This match was good. And especially like you said, you know, WCW had that, and especially their opening matches, you know, they really came out, and it was, you know, not maybe match of the night type stuff, but they were always contenders. Especially
you had to come strong.
You know, this wasn't. I mean, we'll talk about the match of the night later. I know we definitely have the same one.
Yeah,
but you know, Nagata just looked amazing here, and I could, you know, and you know, got the victory. He was, you know, it was an old school match, like worked over his leg.
Yeah, he sold it. Like, so Dragon hits the Super Rana for Nagata to easily escape it. Then he escapes the Dragon Sleeper. He applies an arm bar, and Dragon has to tap because he sold the arm injury.
Yeah. So
he did a good job selling it. You know, like you said, it was a good match, a good opener. And now you're in the mood. Now you're like, all right. And I haven't seen this in 20 years, so I didn't.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, oh, this is great. I like when I haven't seen shit. You know. All right. So now they're at the WCW.com table. Disco Inferno gets interviewed he's fighting Miss Jacqueline for the TV title.
Yeah, newly hired. Because he got fired from Bischoff because he originally wanted him to lose to Jackie, and he didn't want to lose. So he's like, "Oh, you don't want to lose? All right, get out of here." And came back, got hired back, and says, "All right, you're gonna get you know, you got to lose to Jackie, you know, in order to get your job back." So that's exactly what he did.
So Jackie shows up, says she should have been interviewed, jumps the table and attacks him.
Yep.
So, all right, your next match, Jay.
Gato 1997 Gato.
Yes.
No bandana across the head.
No beard.
No weird looking dangly little beard.
Nope.
Well, now he's got the full on beard, I should say now, but
right.
But not measured, not managing. Well, was managing the greatest wrestler, out there. This was Gato tag team from War.
Right. So it's weird seeing Jericho fighting his future boss.
Yeah.
Because Gato is the head booker of New Japan. Has been the head booker for New Japan for quite some time now.
Mhm.
So this was an unadvertised match, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
they were in War, like you said, in the War promotion, and War was big.
Yeah, I like I said. So now at the time,
War
I
was
didn't
like,
know much about it.
So War was like War, FMW, IWA. Those were like the ECW of Japan because you had All Japan, New Japan.
FMW, I was aware of.
Yeah, All Japan was on all cylinders at that point. Still, New Japan was not doing too well, but well enough, But they had a feud in '95, so so Jericho actually has a history with Gato.
Yeah,
for a minute. So it's like it makes perfect sense now why Jericho was in New Japan for a cup of coffee.
Yeah,
the last couple of years.
Oh yeah,
it makes perfect sense now. I had no idea they had a feud. I wasn't following that well. Tanay describes Gato as a 70s Southern style fucking brawler.
He says he was enthralled by the Memphis wrestling days.
He dressed like he's serving fucking
yeah
Japanese food. Like he's.
Do you think Gato looks at his old attire and just goes, "What the fuck was I thinking?"
But a lot of guys have that. A lot of guys had shit gimmicks. Yeah. I mean, this was an okay match. It wasn't.
This was good. I liked it. We all know about that scary spot, where he brings him up to the corner and and Jericho's going. So he brings him up to the top rope. And now he's done this. I forget who he did it with. It was like a Psychosis, or I don't think it was Ray. It was with somebody. Anyway. So he's going for not just a top rope, like an avalanche Frankenstein. He's going for, they're both standing on the top rope, jumping Hurricane Rana. And, it looked like Jericho was losing his balance going backwards. So he just kind of went like, okay, let's go. And Jericho he just under-rotated. And, man, landed. It was scary. Like how he's not dead. From that or paralyzed from that is quite amazing.
Yeah.
And, more or less kind of no-sold it in a sense. Gato made sure he was all right. Surprisingly, he was all right. And the match continued on after that. It probably went for a number, maybe another minute or two after that. But
7 minutes, 18 seconds.
Yeah, it was, it's funny because like as it was happening, it seemed like it was longer, but it wasn't like in a bad way. It's just like they got a lot of stuff in that 7 minutes, in that 7 minutes of a match, and he puts the lion tamer on Gato and the old school lion tamer, leans on
it, yeah.
And it was good. It was really, I like this match too. I like this match a lot. But we all know that the next match is hands down the match of the night.
Well, before we go into that, Mean Gene interviews Deborah.
Yes.
To find out who a mystery opponent is for Mongo. Christ, I hate Mongo. She refuses to reveal it. Mongo interrupts her. He demands his diamond ring, credit cards back. She claims that she earned them, and blah, blah, blah. They're like, this is. And ironically, they were breaking up in real life, so this was like a shoot, actually.
Yeah.
So
which I couldn't believe. I didn't think that at the time.
Yeah, no, this was a shoot because they broke up and I don't know, whatever. But yes, this was the mask versus title Cruiserweight Championship match, probably one of the best matches of the decade.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like the decade for in the States anyway.
Arguably one of the best matches WCW has had in its whole entire
since '91. They went official in '91.
Yeah.
So this is Rey Mysterio against Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero with the LWO fucking gimmick.
Yeah, and it came out, and just looking jacked. Not
oh my god, yeah.
Not WWE jacked, but like he was getting in good shape because Eddie always had that not a weird build, but he's never defined. He was just starting to get some of that definition and just looking in great shape.
Yeah.
And it is weird though to see that they wanted to unmask Rey Mysterio. Like I just find that odd. It's story. You know what I mean? Like backstage, like what, like you have a company. You're selling the fuck out of NWO shirts. Like, I mean, you're probably selling more than you're making. And then you can push Rey Mysterio as a good baby face, create some masks, and now you can have an ever going, a revenue, type thing.
I mean, if you had the hindsight, but
yeah,
I'll play devil's advocate and tell you why this happened. When a lot of the guys came over from AAA and CMLL to the States and they started careers like full time, a lot of guys wanted to reinvent themselves.
Yeah.
So it was him, Hoovy, Psicosis. A couple of guys kept their masks on, like as La Parker and Cibernetico and all those other guys. I'm not too well versed on Lucha, but I know enough to get by. The bottom line is those guys wanted to separate themselves, not totally, but reinvent themselves. Listen, don't get it twisted. Rey goes back to the mask.
Yeah.
The only guy who really doesn't go back to the mask is Hoovy.
Yeah.
Like Psicosis goes back to the mask a few times, but Hoovy embraced the juice and whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm not surprised. Plus, Eddie's got heat with Rey, and they, this is like it goes. I mean, they're tight. They're friends in real life, so
they've wrestled each other 1,000 times,
and this makes for a fucking a classic. There's a corkscrew moonsault. Inside, get the 2 count. Eddie comes back with listen, he hit that power bomb. It was brutal.
It was earth shattering.
Yeah, it was. You want to talk about guys getting caved in like with chops? Yeah. That was a fucking. So now, of course, Rey's all beat up. His springboard Rana counters that into a backbreaker. Eddie looks to win with the super splash mountain with his fucking splash from the top rope.
Yeah,
Rey counters that with an awesome Rana.
Yeah,
and wins. But if I agree, Jay said that they probably WCW is one of their best matches ever.
Yeah,
100%. Now again, this is 90. The WCW is now like 6 or 7 years into their existence, breaking away from the NWA. But Rey was always a good heel. But I mean,
this match like told a story where, and this was the main reason why I wanted to do this pay-per-view, was because I was like, you know what, I haven't seen this match, and forever. Like it's just a great excuse to watch it. But this match, you forget. Like you look at, this was the, we always say about matches that like lead into like how wrestling is now, where it sounds like we shit on AEW a lot, but we're not really.
Just lately, it's not like a thing.
I have this thing. I'm gonna go off a little bit off on a rail here, but like, if you watch, I love Luchasaurus. I think Luchasaurus is fucking awesome. Like,
okay.
I think the character, the whole thing about it, I love it. I even like his work, but for some reason, I don't know what it is. Every time I see him in the ring, when he's coming in with the hot tag, his stuff just seems too choreographed.
Okay.
You got to go there until you can't go here until I go there, that type of stuff. And like I said, sometimes I don't see it all the time, but for some reason with him, I just notice it more. I don't know if I'm looking for it now. But with this match, you don't see that. You don't see a choreograph. Obviously, they probably go over a lot of the stuff in the back. I'm just speculating. But this match was just so fluid, so very few botch spots, and stuff that they just incorporated it into the match.
Right.
this stuff was just, to me, was like this is a trailblazer of how wrestling is today, but this is how it was done right. Eddie was a heel. Eddie can fly, but he grounded the babyface anytime he can. When he was starting to get up, he was building up a little steam. He'd fucking shit can him back down, slow the match down. It was just like a great play on old school wrestling to me, in a new school as in 1997 type of wrestling.
That's a fair point. WCW, we mentioned before, had a really strong opening to almost all of their pay-per-views at this point, because you're a year into the NWO.
Yeah.
So, what better way to showcase your real talent, per se?
Yeah.
Like, okay, listen, the main event's putting asses in the seats, right? But you got to keep them there.
Yeah.
And you have to keep them interested. So that's how you open it up.
And you have to keep them there for the main event. And this is the perfect way to do it,
Right, 100%.
Eddie wins, Ray wins, and then Eddie comes after and starts attacking him, and and it's just a good way. It's a good way. It seems like this match is how wrestling is supposed to be. Always going for a pin, always trying to win at every cost. Like, you don't kind of see that some matches you do, some matches you don't. But like, you don't see that urgency to win. Like this match, there was an urgency to win. Obviously, Ray wanted to win. He wanted to keep the mask and also win the title. It was a win-win.
The incentive,
for Ray, yeah.
The incentive was to keep the family, secrets.
Yeah. But to me, it's just God. And then it makes you you go into that about Eddie, like, oh man, if he would have just stuck around, like that type of stuff. Because man, I mean, now he'd probably be retired, but he'd be backstage. I would imagine he'd still be in the E. But listen, there was a lot of furloughs. You never know.
I mean, you think about these guys all the time. Matter of fact, Yokozuna's dead 20 years today.
Yeah.
If he would have stayed around, you always, now you have the hindsight, the foresight. I mean, to think about these things now because it's 20 years removed. Eddie was such a influential wrestler on future generations now.
And I bet you he didn't even at this time. He wasn't even thinking like that. Like, he wasn't thinking that.
Well, none of our heroes think like that.
It's funny, yeah. I guess it is.
How many heroes do you have as drummers? They don't look to inspire people. They some of them.
Yeah.
Some drummers didn't even want to play drums.
Yeah, they would
pick up an instrument. But it's like but a lot of our favorite drummers either didn't want to drum or like in my case, in my band, my drummer was better than me, so I wound up singing.
Alex Van Halen started as a guitar player.
Correct.
And Eddie was a drummer.
A lot of guys did that. So no one really knows per se. I was watching the Chic movie again.
Oh yeah,
right. And The Rock talks about the influence that Cheeky Baby had on people, and you forget, like, he inspired a bunch of people, and at the time he was the baddest heel on the planet because of what was going on politically in the world. But he was the link between Bob Backlund and Hulkamania. So it's like you don't know how much of an influence you are until it's done.
And I think that's like the sad part about it is, you think of it internally, you just go, man, I wish Eddie would, not that it's great to see Eddie's daughter. I think he's got a few kids, right? He's probably got a few kids.
Two girls, I think.
Eddie's daughters can see the love and adulation that everybody has for him, and Vicky as well, and but like, you just love to see him, like, if he could just hear and just relish that for a few minutes, like, yeah, that would be a great thing for Eddie. But Ray, just this was perfect. Ray was hardcore. Like, he was literally the 97, you got the Rob Van Dams and everything, and Shivani's over here now pushing, like, and he's right. Like, Eddie Guerrero at this point was one of the best wrestlers in the world. He was the Kenny Omega. He was the Okada. He was the Ibushi of
right. But his weight and the weight class took precedent because of where he was.
Yeah.
Like WWE didn't emphasize the cruiserweights. They had a cruiserweight
Thankfully,
division,
yeah.
right. But when he went to the E, that's when he was able to be the star that he should have been all along.
Yeah. And
know?
and you could see drips and drabs of it here in the early time in WCW. Like, you know, he started getting a little bit more mic time, and was starting to show a little bit of that character. But as soon as that bell rung, there was nobody could lace his boots.
Just watch anything he did from Black Tiger to ECW. He was fighting the triple threat, especially Dean Malenko, and then go right to WCW and then WWF. It's like it was Eddie. Eddie's a special guy, a special character, a special wrestler, because he had the complete package, and he didn't abuse his stature. He abused his body.
Yeah.
He didn't abuse who he was because he understood, he respected his craft. He respected his business. And a lot of guys weren't doing that back then. He was kind of cocky when you hear stories now, but like he could,
but where we're from,
it's warranted.
Yeah. When we're from,
it's warranted.
Like if you are that good at what you do, you're allowed to, a small sense.
Yeah, you're not looking down on people. You're like, all right, this is my place.
Yeah,
you're definitely not in my place.
Yeah,
whatever. All right, so let's move on. So before we go to the next match,
this is where it starts going a little south.
So here we go. Mean Gene's shilling the 100, 909, 9900. Backstage, Hogan and Bischoff cut a promo in black and white, and then they cut too early because it was an awkward standing before the fucking get into character. It was stupid.
Yeah.
Hogan saying have an unsafe working environment. Hogan won't compete tonight unless WCW signs a contract. He guarantees Sting won't be in the building. Typical Hogan fashion, lasts way too long.
Yeah.
Hogan wasn't very. Hogan turning heel was the greatest thing for the business, right? The only thing he did wrong as a heel, he could not cut a fucking promo for his life.
But why do I picture it being better than it did?
Because you were fucking 10 years old.
Yeah, because I was younger. Like,
right.
The promo just went on and on.
All of them, though. Remember the first beginning ones with him, Hall, and Nash. Even Kevin Nash, like he wouldn't shut the fuck up.
But because he was still cutting a babyface type promo
as a heel.
He came around.
It was terrible, dude.
But like I don't know, like you just see this. He goes, "Oh, I'm leaving." This is not just like, dude. We don't need no fucking shenanigans. Like, just fight fucking Piper, man. We don't.
Speaking of shenanigans,
oh god,
she brings out Alex Wright to fight Mongo. This is 6.5 minutes. We're not getting back.
By the way, though, listen. One of my favorite things ever. You got to check out WrestleBotch on Facebook.
Yes.
or
yep.
They have Mongo Mondays.
Jesus Christ.
It's just one. It's a thing of glory.
Mongo Mondays.
But that being said. Unpopular opinion coming at you. Mongo, this match wasn't so Mongo-rific in a sense of like some stuff that I've seen, but I will say like there was a few parts like I think there was a huge botch with Alex Wright tried getting what's his face up for a tombstone.
Oh Jesus!
But just hear me out. You have to give credit where credit is due. Mongo was nowhere near the greatest wrestler we've ever seen, and anywhere near close for that matter. But one, he was entertaining, and two, like you cannot say for the lack of trying and the lack of effort that he did it. He was at the time, like I said, me being a kid. I wasn't a huge Mongo fan, but I wasn't like, oh, look how bad this guy is. Like the guy was entertaining. Like he was charismatic. You could see a little bit of it when he was coming to the ring. Like he played the fucking character. Like he in that sense he did a really good job.
Okay, so I see your point, all right? But here's where I disconnect. Okay. A, I'm older than you. B, I watched him in the 85 Bears, right? So like, a lot of guys can't make that transition. And I don't think making him a horseman soured me to the point where I couldn't emotionally invest in him anymore.
Yeah.
Right. So like I couldn't, when they made him a horseman, it was like, and to his credit, and I'll give him credit because even though I don't like him as a wrestler, to his credit, he tried so hard to be a character.
He did.
The Halliburton and the jacket and the promos. And then when he did commentary with the rat dog, that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But when they made him a horseman, I totally disconnected from him. Anything he did to me, he could have been the next fucking Ric Flair, and I still wouldn't have liked him because in my mind, they made him a horseman. Like this is like, listen, Paul Roma, Kendall Windham, like these other guys, this is fucking terrible.
Was Kendall Windham?
Yes and no. You talk to certain people on this network, and it's but I don't know.
That's why I said it. Yeah,
right. But and I know Lee's listening. I'll be getting a text message momentarily, from Tony C, one of those guys. But no, all joking aside, I just couldn't invest emotionally as a fan into Mongo. I couldn't. This was a fucking awful match.
Yeah.
Goldberg had no fucking no reason to be in this match.
How about green?
He takes the Super Bowl ring?
Yeah, super green
Really?
heel Goldberg.
Stupid.
Could you imagine? Now here's where this fantasy, warfare goes. Could you imagine that he stayed a heel? We would not even know who Goldberg is. There would be no because him as a heel at this point, was not good.
It was, dude. It was fucking ridiculous.
And kudos to Charles Robinson,
Little H.
Kudos to him for not turning around and not seeing Goldberg at all.
The only good thing Goldberg did good in this match, he beat up Alex Wright. I have to say.
Listen.
And Mongo, and not for nothing, dude. Mongo didn't sell that spear, dude.
No, well, I think looked like Goldberg fucking took him down because if you see his head hit the ropes.
But dude, come on. You're getting speared. You got to eat that.
Yeah.
Especially if you're fucking.
Did you see the little trouble?
I saw it.
That he had getting his arm up. He couldn't get his arm over.
I saw it.
Yeah. Listen, just to circle back to what you were saying about him as a kid, he was entertaining. At the time, I didn't see anything wrong with him being a horseman, but I didn't know any better. I can't help. I want to disagree, but I can't help but agree. No, because I know exactly what you mean. But now what I will do is push back a little bit because I think this is kind of fascinating. You need to have a fourth horseman. Who's the fourth horseman in '97?
Yeah.
Besides, if it's not Mongo, then who? Look, obviously.
No, listen. Again, I'm not. Again, I understand why they did it. I'm not naive. I'm not. I'm not one of those fucking marks.
And I love how Ric Flair defends him to no end. He goes, "Oh, he was a horseman backstage."
He probably was.
He was a horseman. He's like, he was a horseman at the bar. Like,
yeah, and listen, if you're gonna get brought into that group. It's a serious thing, man. When I took the picture with Tully Blanchard, I was afraid to put the fingers up.
Yeah.
He was like, "You put the fingers up." And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, of course."
Yeah.
And I was like, it's almost like, disrespect, I would never, because but this means a lot to me as a fan because this was the symbol.
Yeah.
The symbol of excellence. I mean, we're the symbol of excellence in sports entertainment broadcasting, but this was the symbol of excellence. When these guys came out and they told you what they were going to do and they always backed it up.
Yeah.
They always backed it up. So when they told you they were going to do something, they did it. And they lived the gimmick. They lived the gimmick. And in 1985, you know how hard it is to live the gimmick?
Yeah.
They lived the fucking gimmick. So it's like what I know now about the Horsemen makes the allure even more fucking delicious. You know what I'm saying? All right. So we go backstage again. Macho Man and Liz. Savage cuts a promo showing his Slim Jims.
Yep. Big time.
Big time. With he has the back end of his jacket. All right, now we go to the non-title.
By the way, how good did Liz look? By the way,
Liz got better with age.
Amazing.
I'm so pissed that Lex killed her with those pills.
Yep.
That cocksucker.
She
I hate
looked
Lex Luger.
amazing.
Yeah, dude, she was a smoke show. All right, so Disco Inferno does come back, like Jay says, and he doesn't have to defend the title though. He does have to job to Jackie though.
Yeah.
So when the officials of WCW said the Las Vegas Athletic Commission decided a man and a woman can't compete for the title, I don't know why, they made it a non-title. And
It was unsanctioned.
Dusty says, "It's hard for me to watch the thing." That was Dusty's words.
Yeah.
This was fucking awful.
This was terrible. It was just, it took so long to get started.
And all I could think about was Jackie's weave was almost coming off her head.
Yeah.
Every time she moved, her hair moved. I'm like, oh my God. And I didn't realize. I was like, oh, fucking weave.
By the way, I'm putting it out there too. Man, and I was a big Jackie fan back then, but now looking at her, I'm even a bigger Jackie fan now.
Yeah.
She looked amazing.
She always kept good, man.
And for some reason, this is what now, the third or fourth time we've seen her have trouble keeping her top on. Because apparently she was coming all out of her top. At one point, Dusty goes, "Oh my God.
I can't." No, he said, he goes, "I can't watch this. I cannot watch this." But yeah, and my whole thing was I was fixated on her fucking weave.
Yeah.
Because every time she did a spot, her fucking weave, either her weave or her tits were gonna come out.
I was stuck on Disco doing his a really, really poor job of like imitating Tracy Smothers. Tracy Smothers can have a match, a 20-minute match, and 18 minutes of it is him backing off of an opponent.
And looking good.
And look good doing it.
Yeah, 100%.
Disco could not fucking do that at all. And listen, I love Disco Inferno.
I love Disco Inferno too.
I love Disco
That's
Inferno.
a great point, dude.
But,
That's a great point.
But he was trying to do something that is just, in my opinion, you could see Tracy Smothers do this for hours. He could literally
100%.
just come in the ring like, all right, we're doing this, and then back off, but he can make it look good and interact with the crowd. Disco wasn't interacting with the crowd. He was just dealing with, Jackie. And when it finally started coming around, it got marginally better, but not by much.
What's the next match, brother?
Oh, the next match is it's going to be Ric Flair versus Kurt Hennig. So now, Fall Brawl. Kurt Hennig is, this is not your spot.
Live spot, not my spot.
Yeah, my dog spot. This is, my spot. And, I remember being invested in this because, what we were saying about, like, if it wasn't Mongo, Kurt Hennig is a horseman. Like, could have been a horseman.
100%.
And,
just by talent alone.
Yeah. So when he turned on them and turned into the NWO, slamming the cage on Ric Flair's head. I remember being a kid and knowing that wrestling was what it is. And I just remember like trying to like show people like, okay, I know what it is. Explain this to me. Like, I just remember seeing it. And like, I haven't really, they didn't really show the spot. I don't know. They did show the spot in the opening thing, but like, show me where the gimmick is. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't see it. It looked like it just closed on Ric Flair's head to me. I was full on in, and apparently, I think Flair needed some time off, and then finally came around. And
well, let's not forget Flair is 50 years old in this match too.
Yeah.
So, and I kind of like had to like take back. Someone compared the turn with the cage to when Michael Hayes did it to the Von Erichs. And I was like, that's fucking things. It's two different things.
Two different things.
But
that's the reaction they were going for.
Of course.
But that's not what it was.
And I shut that person down. No, nicely.
Because you got to remember though too, like I said, I was a young kid. I was a teenager, not even maybe. But I remember Perfect being with Flair in WWF. He was the executive consultant.
Correct.
So the storyline's already built in, so like it almost kind of did make sense. And then, like I said, the turn, if you could have wrote it out a little bit longer, maybe have the turn and Starcade, maybe you could have that.
You mean build it up?
Yeah, you build it up a little bit. Maybe you can get that reaction, but I didn't see that reaction. To me, this match was, if you look at it on paper, you have a Ric Flair against Kurt Hennig. What's the first thing that comes to mind?
What do you mean?
Match it. I'm saying match it.
Match it. Oh, I mean, match wise, yeah. Match it night, yeah.
Match of the night. This was nowhere near like.
Oh no! I mean, the best thing about this match was him showing up. Was Hennig showing up in Flair's robe?
Yeah,
that was dope.
And the cutout sleeves.
Yeah.
And you know what I liked about it too, though, to tell you the truth, was I liked Ric Flair. And how many times has he ever ran to the ring? Ever. Like, you're talking, you can count on one hand.
Oh, yeah.
He always came out in that grandiose.
He was mad. That was cool. That was cool.
And that showed you, that was a different layer of it, and where that I liked. The match wise was, it was just all right. There's really nothing you can kind of say about it. I mean, it was better than the Mongo Alex Wright match.
If you want to go that route, yeah.
Yeah, but to me, it just you could have seen it a lot better. I mean, Flair was just chopping the shit out of fucking Perfect, though, just completely. And so to me, it was a good match for what it was. But I really wish like it just would have been better. And of course, Perfect's got to win by DQ, and all this stuff, like you said. But the whole like kicking the belt into the face, like, it's not the same effect as slamming a cage door on your head. You know what I mean?
I mean,
I see what he's saying. I see what he's doing. I think what happened was Hennig threatened to do that to Flair. And by the way, what's up with that different U.S. belt?
Oh, I don't know.
I knew, because that would be a question for Choppy. He's the resident belt mark.
Yeah.
Where that was a different U.S. belt.
You'll have to ask our resident pain in the ass when he awakes from his slumber.
Yeah,
which is Monday.
But like I said, it's but like you said, these guys are just to me the chemistry. I don't know. Like you said, I know Flair was on his shelf for a little bit, so maybe that played into it. But maybe like that, like two guys that are just so good may not have the chemistry together.
Listen. Perfect was not in best shape. Okay, first of all, he's a little over the hill. Flair is 50 years old.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what you're expecting watching this 20 years later, I mean, as a kid, you're like, oh my God, it's Ric Flair. Oh my God, it's Kurt Hennig. They have history. But now it's like, okay, now you know why. Now going back 20 years later, now you know why it was a shit show.
Yeah. And like I said, it's just, to me, I think they had another match after this.
They probably did, maybe on Nitro or something.
No, I want to say it might have been what was the fucking
World War III?
World War III.
That's next month.
I think they might have had a match, because I remember them having a match with 3 rings.
That's next month.
Yeah, and
we're not doing that, right? I don't know. Are we?
Who knows?
Man, maybe we'll do it as a bonus.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do it the week after the day of Thanksgiving. All right. So Mean Gene brings out Double J, Dylan, to discuss Hogan's demands. Dylan says Hogan's going to have to compete. Bischoff comes out. Dylan shows the contract signed by Sting and says he will not be here tonight. Bischoff tries to weasel out of it, but he fails. Says if Sting shows up, the NWO wants Nitro back.
Oh, yeah.
So whatever. Your next match, Lex Luger against Scott Hall with 6.
And
Larry Zbyszko is a special guest referee, coming out to Mark Merrow's music, by the way.
Yeah, I heard that music. I was just like, what the,
It's Mark Merrow's music.
I remember at the time. So a lot of times during the pay-per-view, like I just thought about like when I was a kid, and I remember being a big fan of Zbyszko then. Like his stuff against Scott Hall, like for some reason it's vivid in my mind, and but like, something like this, I was like, this kind of fell a little flat.
Well, besides because it had Lex Luger in it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I always liked when they tried to bring in an official, like a celebrity official, or a former wrestler, like, when they tried to bring in like a referee of some sort, and the heel would always get the win, even though they had another official. The only time it backfired was when San Martino was fucking reffing that cage match with Muda and all them.
Yeah.
And he punched Muda in the face.
Yeah.
But other than that, every time a referee, like they would bring in a special guest referee, the heel would always wind up winning. So when they cheated and got the win, and then Zbyszko walked over to the corner, looked at the replay, and demanded they come back in, I was like, all right, this is cool. Unfortunately, I didn't mind him winning. I didn't mind Luger winning, even though I didn't like him.
Although, like I said, at this part, like you could see where it's going to go, but like, Hall did his best to kind of like, saunter into the torture rack, but like, like that, you just go, that was too gimmicked up for me. Like I wanted to be more realistic. But I see what they did. Like I said, they did the instant replay rule. Like, it's something that really hasn't been done too often.
Right. It was something out of the ordinary, and it brought back it enhanced it tried to fix an already shit show of a match.
Yeah. I was even more surprised that fucking, Lex Luger took the Razor's Edge. I really thought,
No, I'm not surprised about that.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's a pretty big bump for old Lexi boy.
Nah, Lex was still in shape at that point.
Yeah,
wearing shitty clothes.
But man, this match went on for too long.
The next match went on for too long.
Yeah,
and you would think on paper this
is another one,
right? And I was like, all right, so Diamond Dallas Page has been with us. He has been having a monumental run with WCW.
Yep,
Him and Savage had great matches. This was a little flat for me.
Yeah, it really was
a little flat for me. Dusty Rhodes was the hero, of course. He wobble legged him.
Yeah,
he did the wobble leg him. I like this. He wobble legged him. He picked up the waitress tray and busted his head with it. Oh man, oh my goodness, he said. I didn't. I don't know, man. I love both these guys. But the fucking Stings, like the fake Sting, like Elizabeth and Kimberly, I'm like, oh god. Nick Patrick was on where the fuck he was, on Planet Zero or something. But like it was just like, I mean, I don't know. It was all right, but
yeah, it wasn't
terrible.
No,
it wasn't their best match though.
It went long.
That's the problem.
It went double the amount of time it should.
So you could have did all this in maybe 15 minutes.
I would even go lower. I would say like 10 to 12, and it would have been fun
for a death match.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I say 15. But
well, the match went 18. So
18 minutes, 9 seconds.
To me, you see that.
But you had 3 minutes of filler. You had the bullshit. The cat
Elizabeth,
fight. Yeah. I mean, you had all this bullshit. The fake Sting. So you had 3 minutes. 3 minutes you ain't getting back, man. You're trying to watch this fucking throwback from 20 years ago, The DDP does a stretch of job. Savage attacks him during that. They know that the fake Sting is wearing Hogan's boots. If I don't know if anybody noticed that.
No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, the fake Sting was wearing Hogan's boots.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
So, all right. So we're at the main event now. So my only question, whatever. The match was fucking awful, but
yeah.
Why was this a non-title match? Do you remember?
But it wasn't a non-title match.
It was a non-title match.
But he held up the belt at the end.
Well, he had possession of Hogan's title, but he wasn't the champion.
He wasn't the recognized champion.
Right, but it just
he announced him as new champion.
But he wasn't.
I know. Well, that's where this is where I was getting into my theory of this is where it starts getting off the rails a little bit.
Yeah,
They're comfortable. They have this massive lead against the WWF. They're riding high. The ratings war, blah, 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 all that shit. And this is when they started letting off the gas a little bit. They weren't pushing the issues. They weren't changing. They weren't evolving. They just like, oh, this one, we're winning. Let's go, relax. We'll go on cruise control. We'll be good to go. And this is where it starts because, man, this ending was just fucking screwy.
Yeah.
Everything about it was screwy.
First of all, it's a fucking cage match. Okay.
The rinky-dink cage. Chambers of death. Chambers of horror.
I was about to say something. So now, my admiration, my adoration for fucking cage matches. I love a good cage match. It's my favorite thing in pro wrestling besides tag teams.
Yeah.
But first of all, it's Hogan and Piper. They have a history. Piper has possession of the title. He took it. He's fucking with Hogan. He always fucked with Hogan. I've never seen Piper job to Hogan in the Garden ever. Piper always lost by like count out, disqualifications, whatever. He never got pinned. It's a non-title match in a cage. Makes no fucking sense to me. The cage is awful, by the way. The fucking the fake Sting thing is ridiculous. Sting after Sting after Sting. There's no fucking finish for it. There's no payoff. There's no nothing. Okay? It's stupid.
Yep.
And it just it just took away from these two old guys, these two old rivals, which again on paper, a Hogan Piper match was always fun.
Yep.
Because Hogan had to work because Piper wasn't your regular guy. Piper could do certain. Piper can run a match any way he wanted to. He'll headlock you for a half hour.
Yep.
He'll kick your face in for a half hour. He'll do both. He'll wrestle you outside the ring. He was we all talk about how ring psychology played off with Jake the Snake Roberts. No one gives Piper his due for ring psychology.
Yeah. I can agree with that.
So when you on paper, this could have been. Why not give Piper the fucking belt and have him job on Nitro or something like that? Or you know what I'm saying? Like you could have did something. Just give Piper his one day. And Piper wasn't about titles. He'll tell you that. He always said that. But in my eyes, you're gonna do something like this, book it.
Yeah.
Do it right, And Hogan was just, I don't understand. He was more worried about Sting, which is fine because Sting
makes sense.
Makes sense because Sting that's the story. I get it.
It's a year in the making.
And again, Hogan doesn't need the title. He's Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
There's a guy. If there's one guy who does not need a title to be prominent or over or at the front of the line, it's Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Right. So you could have made this. You could have made this a fucking title match. You could have eliminated the Stings, and you could have made the cage match a little fucking tighter. It looked like a fucking. It was worse than Chamber of Horrors.
I liked the whole idea of like you can have the outside. I didn't hate that aspect of it because
bring the referee in the count.
That I found
hate
weird.
that shit.
Especially I don't know if you counted. I was fortunate enough to notice how many bumps were taken in this match. If you count flatbacks, 0. If you want to count any sort of a bump, it's 2, and that's Hogan. Hogan gave Piper 2 leg drops
at the end,
and those were the only bumps taken in this match.
But again, you have Hulk Hogan and Rowdy Piper. You would think this could have been something a little better.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Right? And this has nothing to do with Piper's work rate or how many bumps they took, because that's a fair point. I'm just saying, like, give Piper the one. You had Hogan in a cage.
Yeah,
you had him. Like, there's no NWO. I mean, Savage came out at the end. They handcuffed him to the cage. But like that whole match, without the Stings, without Bischoff or Savage, you had 10 minutes of Hogan and Piper.
And it could have been something. I think what takes away from the match is all that Sting, the different Stings come from the aisleway,
terrible,
and from the fucking stands.
Terrible, dude.
It was terrible. And then like the one Sting came too early, and you know what I mean? Like, all that. Excuse me, all that stuff that happened on the outside, it took away from the match. That could have been, like you said, you could have just had these two in the match, give them 10 minutes. Once again, I'm not, they didn't have to bump. It was making an acknowledgement of it, because I'm like, oh, these guys aren't even trying that hard. This is what I mean. I think they took the pedal off, they took their foot off the pedal and was just coasting. And at this point, they were getting a little bit lazy, it seems like. And this is where it started, I think, in my opinion. Because you could have had a great ending to this feud that, it started a year ago. Piper made his debut. And here he is. Like, Piper was in good shape, too, 97. I was actually quite surprised. And, here he is. He's fighting him again. I think this was the third match that they had. And, at this point, why is the title not on the line? That's like you said, this is where it's getting a little bit lazy booking type thing.
Exactly.
And, and even like, by the way, and I'm not even I forgot to count Savage's bump that off the top of the cage. Why the fuck are you doing? Why are you jumping off the top of a
because
cage?
He's Randy Savage. That's why.
To give Roddy Piper a double axe handle. You're 15 feet up.
Yeah, no, it was ridiculous.
And and even like I said, and then he gets him into that dreaded Roddy Piper sleeper hold that puts everybody out.
Yeah,
apparently.
man.
And
yeah.
Listen, kudos to Hogan and Piper, rest in peace. Like, the effort was there, but I think it was a little lackluster.
Yeah, 100%.
I think they were just they were there for the payoff.
Obviously, but like, when you're looking back at it now and your position,
you can't help but think that there was some sort of backstage politics going on there. That's what makes me think about it. You see that and you just go, oh, that's why the effort wasn't there because so and so is probably pissed off or whatever. And
right, 100%.
But like, and so then let's just look at the booking of it. Like, so all these things come out. They're there. Are they plants from Hogan from NWO? Because like, if Sting shows up, we get control of Nitro. Are these plants from the NWO? We never know.
But it just took the title at this point. You could have did something with that.
Yeah,
you could have booked it where even if he wins and takes the beating at the end, still.
Yeah,
he wins. And Sting doesn't show up, which is fine. That was the caveat, right?
Yeah.
Sting shows up to get the NWO back. Nitro gets NWO gets Nitro back. Whatever. Okay. But you're a year into this fucking thing already.
Yeah.
How many old conjures you gonna bring in? It's like you're digging the well now at this point.
And also, like you said, and then like you handcuff Piper to the cage, and then a fan jumps in.
Oh my God, yeah.
And it's funny because everything I've read, it seems to be a shoot. But why is Hogan throwing work punches at the guy?
Well, no, he leveled that kick.
Well, he kicked him for real.
But that one punch he threw, he hit him.
Well,
with it.
I think after the work punches, the guy kept coming at him.
Yeah.
Then he clocked him for real.
But like even security was like, all right, we got this. And
then even security's like, wait a minute, this might be part of the show. Like, and like you could see.
Yeah,
good
job, Doug Dillinger.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just this is where it started getting the train cart starting to shake a little bit.
And yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. This is where it's like the inmates running the asylum and it's not working anymore.
And it really did seem like that. But and it's funny because it looked like Savage was just choking the guy's fucking lights out. Like I'm surprised he didn't choke him out.
He caught
with the guillotine, and and that's what I mean. Like it just seems like there was a problem, and we all know Piper's politics backstage. Like he isn't losing for anybody.
I understand that.
He should have lost for Hogan at some point.
He should have lost. He should have won that title.
Should have won the title and gave it right back to him.
And took a beating, yeah.
And gave it right back to him.
Right. I just for story purposes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right.
But all in all, like the first few matches really held
first three
up.
matches, fucking.
I liked the DDP Macho Man match. It was a little long, but I liked it. To me, it was a good event all in all. I if I had to give it a rating, B minus.
I go B minus hard C.
Yeah,
maybe C. A B minus hard C, maybe.
Only, like I said, only because the
because of Lex Luger and Mongo.
Yeah,
come on, let's be real here. Let's be real here.
Yeah, like, well, the Lex Luger match I could have did without. The main event really kind of just like with that whole crazy booking, that really just kind of that takes the air out of the fucking balloon.
You put fake Sting in 2 different matches. It ruined DDP's match.
Yeah,
and
ruined it.
And him and Savage put on good matches. So for me, it's like that. It's that shit booking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You could have gave it a B+. You know, you want to go letter grade like that. You know, certain things just have to flow, and some of the shit just didn't flow. On paper, it looks mint.
Yeah.
On paper, it looked amazing, but when you're not booking it properly, it's a shit show.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
So this is what I'm talking about, and this is why we can't have nice things.
This is why we don't have nice things.
But we do have nice things on Turnbuckle Throwbacks.
I tell you, thank you so much.
Welcome to the Takeover Club.
This is great birthday. Great start to my birthday weekend.
Great birthday, man. I hope you have a wonderful birthday.
It's already started off excellent. So I can't see it not going anywhere which way.
We want to thank everybody for hanging out with us tonight. My sister again for making Jada wonderful gimmicks.
Absolutely.
Choppy, we miss you. Hopefully we'll see you next week. Don't work too hard. We love you. And I think that's it, man. Anything else? You know all those social media gimmicks. Patreon, please. Pro Wrestling Tees, 20% off right now, I think. Go buy a shirt. If you want a Cop Club shirt, hit me up. I'm sure my sister, for a fee, will make you one. I think that's it, man. Are we good?
I think we're good, brother.
Have a good rest of your week, guys. We'll see you next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. Avoid the clap. Don't get arrested. Whatever. It is what it is. Say goodnight, birthday boy.
Good night, birthday boy.
All right.